And we are live. We got a pretty damn special show today for you guys. I'm pretty sure you guys already know who he is. Alex from Playing with Fire, dating coach, etc. He does debates as well, political debates, which he will be having with Andrew Wilson on Wednesday. I'd like to introduce Alex from Playing with Fire. What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me on.
No, dude, thanks for agreeing to come on here and have like a bit of a discussion, especially with the red pill stuff, you know.
Sure.
But I wanted to start off with this, man. Back in, I believe it was like in 2020, I actually found your content like years ago.
Oh.
And the big reason why was because I was watching Fresh and Fit. Fresh and Fit, I think their breakout year was in that 2020 mark when they started kind of. I remember watching them because they had like two girls at the time, or two or three girls before.
It was after the pandemic, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But I remember watching them, and then your content kind of showed up on the recommendations, so that's how I kind of found you. And when I was watching you kind of tend to, I saw a lot of your pre-recorded videos. I didn't watch your lives or anything like that, but you had a lot of pre-recorded videos that I thought had some pretty good information in there, etc. And yeah, it was good stuff, and I liked it. And then I remember you coming out with videos kind of basically bashing the RP. And in my mind, when I was watching those videos, I was like, well, I thought this guy was a red pill content creator. No. But again, distinguishing the difference between, because at the time I kind of went through a rabbit hole of all these fucking pills, right? I even interviewed Sergio, who is part of the purple pill stuff, and he explained that to me. But when I was watching you were saying like, Rollo Tomasi and Fresh and Fit are frauds. Is that still a statement that you stand by?
Yeah, absolutely. I understand it can be confusing with the like who's part of red pill because it's kind of self-identifying. Like you can be red pill and just call yourself something else, and then it's like, are you still red pill? In my opinion, there are some core tenets that all red pillars believe. One of them, for example, would be in hypergamy. The other one would be in that, men have it really rough in today's dating marketplace. Another one would be that, girls today are worse than they were 20 years ago. There's like a set of like beliefs that I think all red pillars share in common, or most of them share in common. And I don't prescribe to like half of them at least. So I would definitely be. Also, I think red pill community is just full of grifters. It seems to me like that they'll say one thing and they'll just be massive hypocrites. So that perfectly personifies Fresh and Fit. Again, they teach all the shit to their audience, but I don't think they do 95% of it. I mean, they've been talking about fitness for a while, but every single person who works there besides Myron isn't fit at all. Fresh is skinny fat. Like he's been for 5 years, made zero progress. They got like a really fat dude there now. I forget his name.
The producer Mo. You're talking about Mo.
Yeah, Mo. I mean, dude, like that's dude's taking it to a whole new level. Like he's gonna need a wheelchair soon. And then you got Chris, who's also fat. So it's like they don't live up by their own advice. There was I think that was pretty evident with Fresh's whole sugar baby scandal, how basically, even though he tells guys like not to wife up or not to spend money on sugar babies and all that, he was dropping mad money on her, and they'll typically lie about it. They have like now their latest scheme / scam is doing these bow parties where they say there's going to be a lot of girls, but it's usually like a sausage fest. You can watch videos from it. It seems like the girls are on one side, the guys on the other. The guys are always dancing with each other, but never dancing with the girls. It's like a whole weird thing. So yeah, I think definitely that are massive grifters.
Okay. Well, here's the thing, Alex. Like outside of their actions, wouldn't you agree that somebody who tends to not maybe, perhaps he doesn't follow strict by strict of how it should be, people make mistakes, etc. Wouldn't you say that at least the information they're giving out, like your first point right here, you talked about hypergamy, right? Every red pill content creator tends to have some type of tendency that they share. One thing you mentioned was hypergamy. Are you saying that you don't believe hypergamy exists? It's not a thing. It's just something made up by the red pill content creators.
So the concept of hypergamy comes from I think it's called the dual mating hypothesis by I forget the guy's name, but it's from the dual mating hypothesis. The idea is pretty simple: is that women will wife up beta guys, right, and then they'll cheat on them with alpha guys, right? But that has even the guy who came up with that dual mating hypothesis has no longer believes in that. None of the evil side community believes in hypergamy anymore.
So you don't believe in it either, right? You're saying like that's total
Not
bullshit. Hypergamy is
not
not
the way they describe it. There are some women that will obviously be like climbers and that will try to date up and date up, date up. But what happens if you look at like the actual facts of this, and I've researched the fuck out of this for like all the debates I've had, is that 80% of women, when they cheat, they fall in love with that partner. So that is the concept of hypergamy, or the dual mating hypothesis, is that the woman will still stick with her beta guy and just cheat on him with the alpha. But it seems like they actually leave the guy cheat on him with. Also, there's absolutely no evidence at all that when a woman cheats, it's with a guy who's like higher value. It typically seems to be when
in social circles, right?
Well,
don't they usually
has an affair? It's just that she's dissatisfied in the relationship. That's the number one cause for whatever reason, and that she meets someone she's more compatible with, and that's really seems to be the gist of it, like how cheating happens most of the time.
I gotcha. But you know what? Like when I looked at Fresh and Fit, etc., I will even tell you this. I'm not gonna like say too much about my particular personal aspects, but for me, I played in a heavy metal band. Right. I played in a rock band and I toured around Texas. And I'm not, for me personally, I was at the top of my game when it came to my instrument, which was guitar, rock music. And I believe that there's different hierarchies within the dating or sexual market, right? What I noticed is that I saw dudes that were very, I'm not going to say they're high valued, because again, it has to do with hierarchy. Not necessarily that they had a bunch of money, but they had a lot of social proof, right? They were one of the tops in their craft of music, and it's not necessarily that they were good looking or maybe charm or whatever, but they had some pretty damn good looking girlfriends, And then for me personally, I don't think I'm an ugly dude. I think I was the better looking dude in that scene, to be perfectly honest. But even
that
I was
be hypergamy though. That would just
be yeah. I get you there.
It would be hypergamy if the girl's dating you and then she leaves you for one of the quote unquote higher value people, right?
Well, isn't hypergamy dating up when it comes to financial status or social status?
Yes, but I think it's
like, isn't that how it's defined?
I think that there's the implication is always though, from what I understand, is that the woman it's about a girl being in a relationship with a lower value guy and leaving him for a higher value guy. That's the way people always talk about hypergamy. Is like it's the climbing. Right.
Sure.
And
but
there's just no evidence from that aside from anecdotes, because you'll see stories where girls dating a rich guy. I've seen this many times, or some like really high value guy, and she leaves him for like a fucking brokey, right? Like that happens all the time too. So it goes both ways.
No, I get you there, but I am saying that I did see that. And I think like when it comes to that, social status does matter a lot. Right.
People absolutely matters
within a hierarchy. So outside of just like the rich people, etc., there's different hierarchies in every single spec of things. Right. Yeah. And I use rock music as an example, where there were a lot of chicks, the rocker, big titty goth girls, etc., attractive chicks that tend to go with guys in the band that weren't necessarily good looking, but however, they were the headliners, etc. Right.
Status is very important. Yeah,
it's important, even though they weren't rich dudes. They really weren't.
Well,
but status,
value, that's another mistake. Money does not mean you're high value.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's within the hierarchies of how I understand it. Like there's different hierarchies within things.
Yes, there are. There's local hierarchies. There's status is probably the most important thing, but where hypergamy will come into play is that like if a girl is dating a guy with lower status and then she leaves him for a guy with higher status. Yeah,
but that does happen though, right, Alex? You can admit that.
Of course, it does happen. But the question is that the way of things? Because also it goes the other way. A girl's dating a guy who's like higher status, and she leaves him for a guy who's lower status.
Sure.
Right, so it goes both ways. But if like all the evil psych scientists, like when they've looked at the data, they no longer believe that this is the way. This is like the rule that girls will, generally speaking, date up. They believe more now. It's in the I forget the term. I researched this a while ago. I have a whole like massive Google document on this where I just like break down science by science point what the red pill is wrong about. And I can pull it up if you really want me to, but I think it's called the it's another hypothesis. It's no longer the dual mating hypothesis, and it believes that basically women will just they're not dating up or they're not necessarily dating down. They're just dating across to people like that because they're dissatisfied with a relationship and just someone else who they vibe with, right? Like that's what all the Evo psych people believe now.
Okay, the Evo side. Okay. So you're saying that the science has changed now. What the RP? Huh?
Yeah, the science has radically changed. All of this comes from Evo psych. The science has radically changed, and the red pill people, they don't know or care about science. They just like to repeat what they have heard. And so, like, Rollo's way of coping with the fact that science has changed when I debated him is like, well, I think it's a conspiracy theory because I think the reason the guy that I used to quote all the time, the guy that I got all my shit from, I think he's probably been corrupted. Like, that's the way they cope with it, right? Instead of just like, oh shit, okay, I guess the guy that I base all my shit off, David Buss, is changed his opinion because maybe he saw some new evidence, which is the logical conclusion. So they don't really care about the science; they just care about like pushing their talking points.
Okay. So that's what your conclusion is that these RP content creators, like even going back with like the debate that you had with Andrew Wilson on the topic at hand was, are red pill content creators doing more harm than good? Right. That was the thing. Yeah. Your claim is that they are.
Yes.
And you're saying these guys are major hypocrites because they're not going along with whatever the science is. But I would say that another, I guess, tendency of the data.
Just to clarify, that wouldn't make them hypocrites. That would just make them ignorant. A hypocrite would be them saying one thing, like saying never wipe up a 304 and then wiping up a 304. It would be saying one thing and doing something completely different. That's what would make them hypocrite. So there's separate claims.
Okay. Fair enough on that. But even with that, you would say that they're doing more damage, like Pearl Davis or even Andrew Tate. You would also say Andrew Tate's doing more damage than good.
Yeah, generally speaking, Andrew Tate no longer identifies with the red pill. He denounces the red pill. But yeah, generally speaking, yeah, because I think that okay, well, I mean, my criticism of each one of them would be slightly different. With Andrew Tate specifically, is that he really, really pushes materialism. And I don't think that's good. That's not fulfilling long term. And his whole thing is really just about materialism. Like, oh, you got these cars and you got to be rich and you got to do this and you got to do that. And just like, like none of that I feel like makes you happy long term. And I think that the science supports my point. Once you get above 80K annually in salary, you don't get any kind of increase in happiness. So once you get to above middle class, like going from that to being ultra rich doesn't actually increase your happiness, according to studies. So that's one bad thing that he teaches. I think another bad thing that he teaches is like that depression isn't real. This is probably the one I have the most problem
that one was pretty out there. I'm not gonna lie, that one was pretty fucking out there.
Yeah, I have a massive issue with that because I think that will cause guys to sometimes kill themselves. I think mental health is a serious issue. It's a shame that guys are stigmatized from talking about it. That's why at every step when I can, I'll say like, yeah, back in the past I went to therapy. It was very helpful.
You went to therapy, really?
Yeah. I have no problem sharing that because I think.
Were you depressed did you go to therapy because you were
depressed? No, I've never. It was just I was just had some, look, I had some really unfortunate life events when I was 26, 27. I needed a way to deal with that, and therapy helped me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, I had to try a few different therapists, but also another thing I talk about, like TMS, how that massively helped me with like anxiety and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't like stigmatizing guys with mental health issues, and I think everyone at some point in their life is probably going to get hit with something. And I hate that fucking message that, oh, you just got to go to the gym more, bro. You got to make more money. Like when I was having my shit, I was already pretty rich, and that didn't like really make any kind of a difference. So yeah, I hate that. So just parts of their message I think are just super toxic and not good for men overall.
Yeah, but okay. So like even with your message, Alex, you've put up receipts that I've seen on your YouTube channel, etc. of, let's say, a guy, I think the latest one, it was an individual man that couldn't get laid, and then he took your program and then he fucked like 72 chicks within a small amount of time or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And I remember seeing that. And so then I would tell you, if you're promoting, to a degree, you're promoting promiscuous men, is that good for society or is that bad for society? Especially when you criticize Andrew Tate, who is not necessarily promoting that you should fuck those girls, but he's also had claims to where he's helped men get into the gym and make money, and they give him messages saying, "I'm glad I took your."
Yeah, I mean, I get a million messages like that too. I mean, look, he literally was he was a sex worker like owner. Like literally what he did was he would have girls text these lonely guys,
Sure.
and then he would be texting as the girl, which is odd in of
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
And
That's
then he
bad.
would make plans to meet up with the guys, and then he would flake as the girl, and then he would gaslight them. And his whole thing, he laughed about, like, yeah, I would just get all their money. Like, it doesn't, I think, it doesn't get more fucked up than that. Like, I will take promiscuity all day over every day over like guys just having a bunch of sex workers or being like fucking, you know.
Yeah, but outside of the comparison, Alex, wouldn't you say that even you helping men getting like they weren't able to get laid, and then all of a sudden they're fucking 72 bitches within a month span, which I don't even know if I could believe that, to be honest.
It was never within a month. It was
okay, what like a year or something like that? Maybe
something like that, yeah.
That's still pretty crazy though. 72 in a year. My body count's 60. So he shot out my body count within that, and that's because it took me a long while to even get that. But so I understand how difficult it is to kind of, for men to have access to sex. But nevertheless, is your teachings, wouldn't you say, is also just as bad as these RP content creators?
No,
where you're
at all.
teaching men how to do that.
Yeah.
So
Not
you're
at all.
saying men having sex, free sex, banging those chicks, even women, that's not bad for society at all.
Well, chicks are women, right? I mean, like,
Yeah, women, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or chicks having sex with being promiscuous, or men being
I don't think
promiscuous.
there's anything wrong at all with guys being promiscuous, as long as they don't lie and they're honest. As long as they don't lead girls on or gaslight them or emotionally manipulate them, which I don't teach. I think if they're honest, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I've had sex with hundreds and hundreds of girls, and right now I'm in a happy relationship. Like, I don't have no regrets about being super promiscuous when I was younger. And typically most guys don't have regrets about being promiscuous. I don't give advice for women. I think for women, it might be different, but that's my advice isn't for women. My advice is for men. And
if you did give advice to women, would you say, hey, ladies, probably a good thing is to not have, promiscuous sex? Because
not necessarily. I think
because
yeah, I think
Alex,
go ahead.
But I would say if both genders are promiscuous in that way, it does lead to a lot of issues within our community. Like, for example, STDs. Or even cheating, or even cheating, right?
Well,
like people that usually are promiscuous are more likely to cheat.
Let's just separate those. I'm saying condoms fix the whole STD thing, right? And I always teach safe sex. The whole cheating thing, that's a correlation rather than causation, right? So a woman,
that's a pretty big correlation, don't you think, Alex? Though, like, would you say that you don't believe that people who are promiscuous, a woman that's banged 3,000 men, can still be just as loyal as a woman that's had sex with 5 men?
Well, yes, I don't think she can be as loyal, but the reason isn't because of her fucking 3,000 guys. It's because she had the kind of personality that made her want to fuck 3,000 guys. There's nothing about the act of sex that, like, every time a woman has sex with a man, it makes her just like a bit more promiscuous. It's just the fact that the kind of girl that would want to fuck, well, 3,000 is pretty extreme. Let's say 100 guys.
Okay, let's say 100 guys. Yeah.
Yeah, the kind of woman that would want that means she's novelty driven, or she has validation issues. She really, really needs novelty in her sex life. She could have, emotional issues. There could be a combination of things. Those are the things that would make her less loyal, not the actual fact of her having sex with 100 men. And my evidence for that would be very simple. The study I think you're referring to, which everyone refers to, is the marriage study, and shows that, like, once the body count goes up, the chance of divorce goes up. But what's really interesting about that study, if you really look into it, is that you get to, so it's like 0, it's like, let's say 10% or 8% divorce risk, then 1, 2, but after 2, it actually drops a bit.
Sure.
And then it doesn't go past where 2 is after 8 or so. That's very interesting. Like, you would think that if it was just like a direct, like, the more sex you have, the more likely to cheat, then why would it dip after 2, right? That's very interesting that it dips after 2 and doesn't climb back up after 8. And if you actually look what the author of the study says, he also does not actually, he also says he doesn't think it's actually the fact that women are having sex. He thinks it's a correlation thing, because women who have a lot less sex, who are like virgins, tend to be religious, and religious people just get divorced less. So even the author of the study is saying that he thinks it's a correlation, largely due to religion.
Okay, well, I could see that, but also, like, even then, Alex, when you do these dating coaches, like oxytocin, for example, is a chemical in the brain that gives the sense of bonding with your partner, right?
Mhm.
And it shows that when you keep on having that oxytocin with sexual partners, you get more what's the immune to that chemical. Thus, you'll be less likely to bond with said sex partner. So I think even when it comes to the science of that, wouldn't it be coming from a logical conclusion that the more sex partners a woman has, the more likely that she wouldn't be as attached to you,
There's no real
and then
science on.
she has frames of references of other men that treated her a certain way that maybe were better than you, etc. Like Alex, I just don't see an argument. Now I haven't seen the data that you've been referring to. From the data that I've seen, it seems like a pretty bad idea to promote promiscuity with men.
So
And
just to be clear, you're referring to the study with the divorce rates, right? The study by the Institute of Family Studies. That's the study you're referring to, right? Which data?
Yeah, I believe that's what it is. But
That's the study everyone first. Did you read what actually the author said in the conclusion of the study?
I did not.
Okay.
I'll admit that. But that's why I'm saying, like, so you're saying that totally reject that. There's any man, you can go ahead and have sex with women, 72 girls, etc. It wouldn't affect relationships one bit at all.
No, I'm not saying
Would that be your conclusion of that?
No.
Okay, how much of it would? Huh?
We're talking about men right now, right?
Sure. Yeah, let's start with men, and then I want to ask you about women on that.
So I think that there's going to be a correlation between guys who don't have a lot of sex and how likely they are to get divorced. Because again, but I think that's going to be because those guys tend to be much more religious, right? But no, I don't think there's something inherently for a man about having sex with a dozen, 2 dozen, 100 girls that's going to make him worse of a partner. Like again, I think I've been in a relationship for 5 years or 4 years. I think my girlfriend said I'm a very, very good boyfriend. I've had sex with hundreds and hundreds of girls, right?
I think you're the exception to the rule, though, Alex.
I don't know if I am. Like I have a lot of friends who've had sex with a lot of girls, and they seem to.
Oh, they might be okay.
And I also know plenty of people who have a body count of like 2, and they're horrible partners.
Totally anecdotal, though, right?
But that's all we have right now is anecdotal.
Sure. I get you there. I get you
so
there.
we don't. There's really no science on pair bonding unless you can show me something. So there's just we are just talking anecdotal right now. Purely.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I didn't come prepared to debate you on anything like that. Obviously, I told you this is going to be a discussion of RP, etc.
Yeah. No, for sure. I'm not trying to come off as a know-it-all. This is just a topic I've looked a lot into.
Yeah, I know.
I can many times. So I'm familiar. Like when they talk about this study, I know exactly which study they're talking about. I've looked at all the studies. I actually did a video called 7 studies that debunk the red pill. It's a really interesting video for anyone who's big on red pill. We'll actually break down why they're wrong according to the study. Sometimes the studies that they even try to cite. Sometimes they'll literally cite a study, but they don't even understand the study. They're just going off things that they've heard about that study, but they've never read the study. So it's just fascinating when you look into it. But to go back to the point is I don't think that I don't think there's any evidence that I've ever seen that for guys having a higher body count makes them worse of a partner. That the act of having sex with more women, that's going to cause guys to be worse partners. There's no evidence of that I've ever seen.
And but with the opposite, with women, have you seen any of those studies? Like usually women that are promiscuous, and you even seen that with porn stars, they can't keep relationships.
But I think that's because
that's an extreme example, obviously.
The type of woman who becomes a porn star, woman already has probably a lot of issues. Right,
mental issues, right? We can agree with that. So
yeah. So is it the fact that she became a porn star, or is it because she was already the type of woman that was willing to become a porn star?
Like Lily Phillips. What's your take on Lily Phillips that says, "Hey, you know what? I want to fuck 1,000 men in 24 hours." Would you say that this woman has some type of mental issues in her head to do that?
I think she definitely has emotional issues. I'm not sure if mental issues.
Not mental.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not her side. I'm not.
If you were to guess, you made the statement that obviously these types of women that
mental
do
issues, you mean something that can be diagnosed?
Yeah, something like maybe depression could be there, or
it could be. I would need to see that's the case. I don't know. I definitely think she probably has some emotional trauma in her past. I think probably. I think it's probably a combination of things with her. I think she's highly novelty driven. I think that she probably has some trauma. Maybe she just never felt like she was attracted enough. Maybe her self-esteem is low. I think it could be a combination of things. that's causing her to do that. Or maybe it largely comes down to the fact that this is all just a calculated fucking career move, because now everyone's talking about her. And I guarantee you, since she did that stunt, she's made like, we're talking probably hundreds of thousands more dollars just with all the contracts and all the appearances of being put.
But Alex, you even said earlier, once you hit around 80K, your happiness doesn't go any higher. So wouldn't you say that she's chasing happiness that's not even there? Wouldn't you say that's a negative thing for Lily Phillips then?
I personally don't believe you should do things for money or primarily for money. I'm just saying a lot of people don't feel that way. A lot of people chase money, including Andrew Tate. Right. Including all these red pillars, right? So,
would you say that you would say prostitution's actually a net negative on the mental health of the people who do it?
On the people who do it, probably, yeah. I can't imagine that.
Like a Lily Phillips, or like you even said the study about the 80K.
Right? She's a sex worker, but not a prostitute.
Same thing, Alex. Come on, man. No, she's having sex for money. That's a prostitution.
Prostitution is illegal. Prostitutes is when you pay when someone pays you money for sex. What she's not getting paid for sex. She's getting paid to do movies, right? She's a porn star, makes her a sex worker.
Yeah, that's the loophole, right?
It's not a loophole. One of them
okay, so like for example, a hooker. Yeah, like being a hooker is illegal, right? Being on the streets and having sex with men on the streets, that's the part
you don't have
where
to be on the street. Like you could be like, she could be a private person.
Sure.
And if, for example, she's like doing it all online, she's guys are DMing her, hey, I'll pay you $500 to fuck you, and she's like, yeah, sure. That would still make her a prostitute, even if she's not on the street.
Yeah, no, I get you there. But once you film it, then it becomes a porno, therefore it's legal. Like that's the loophole. But nevertheless, you can't deny that's a form of prostitution, right?
No,
that's the thing.
It's technically not. It's a form of sex work.
Okay. So let me rephrase the question. Wouldn't you say that this form of sex work is probably not good for the mental health of a woman, right? And you conceded like, yeah, probably not.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when it comes to men consuming that type of thing, would you say that is a net positive for men to consume pornography than to not consume it?
I think it's a net negative. But here's where I differ with a lot of people is that even though, like, I think smoking is a net negative. I think drinking is a net negative. But I still think all those things should be legal, because I think making it legal makes it worse. This is the debate I've gotten to with Jay from Rattlesnake TV. So while I agree with the position that it's not good for the woman, and I certainly not like, I differ when it comes to promiscuity versus like consuming porn. I think porn is a lot worse. And while I don't think that's good for men either, I don't think it should be illegal, right? So like, I believe people should have the right, did you just light up a cigarette real quick?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so I think smoking is bad for you. But
it's bad. I agree with you, Alex. It is.
Make that decision. It's your choice, your body, right?
But I'll tell you this, Alex. If the government came out and said, you know what, no more smoking for the individuals, I probably wouldn't have a problem with that at all. Well, I would say, okay, yeah, it's probably going to be a net positive for
it would not
society
be,
in general.
That's very wrong, because
your argument with Jake Rattlesnake was the argument of
drug war,
black market.
Every time we've tried to make a vice illegal, it winds up being so much worse. We see this with gambling too. It just becomes controlled by like the fucking mafia. Like making vices.
Well, it's still controlled over the mafia, and it's legal in Vegas, and they still control it, Alex.
No, not in Vegas, not anymore. They used to in the 70s and 80s. I promise you, it's not. It's owned by corporations. Okay. Yeah, that's changed. I watched a whole documentary on that.
Okay, but nevertheless, the corporations, we just traded in the underground mafias for corporations at the end of the day.
But I would argue that's better, because back then in Vegas, if you were caught cheating or something, you have your hand broken.
Oh, yeah.
And now you just go to the police, so I think that it's become better. But yeah.
I guess if you're talking about punishment, I guess that makes sense. All right, fair enough on that, Alex. But I did see your debate with Jake Rattlesnake, so that was an interesting one, I'm not going to lie. But I'm not here to rehash that. I wanted to ask you this, because I wanted to go into the red pill stuff. Sure. In thorough aspect. I want to go back to Rollo Tomassi. Going back to you saying that he's a fraud, etc., which is okay, fair enough. You're making your claims on that. But wouldn't you say that Rollo Tomassi, just like the receipts that you have, maybe Rollo has a different definition of helping men than you do, but Rollo has the receipts of men that have read his book and have helped him. And I would even say this, Alex. I remember reading that book maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Playing in a band, I lost my girlfriend. The band broke up. I lost some friends, and I had to move back in with my parents. And I was pretty depressed about it. I had a record, so I wasn't able to get particular jobs that could have helped me out during that time. And I think reading that book kind of helped me put a perspective on reality, And using that thing, I would say, yeah, Rolo's books did help me to kind of get to where now I have a house. I have, a dog. I have a husky just like you, by the way.
Oh,
And
that's a good
yeah,
choice.
I love huskies, bro.
Yeah,
Love
huskies
huskies.
are the best.
Good taste in dogs. I'll give you that. But yeah, I have a husky. I have my house. I have a cat. Yeah, dude. And by the way, he's super. Is it a boy or a girl?
He's a boy. He was a
He's a
rescue,
boy.
but he's a
Super
very well
fluffy.
behaved one. Yeah, yeah. He's one
Yeah.
of the fluffiest huskies I've ever met.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it, man. They're fucking lovable too. But but nevertheless, like, yeah, dude, I fucking I went from point, down here to a better life. And I think Rolo helped me out with that. He has many receipts on that. I'm not saying Rolo was the only one. I'm not saying that. But nevertheless, he has helped men. And I believe him when he says that. So when you say that Rolo is a net negative, even though he might be a hypocrite at times, like for example, how he didn't want to debate you, or he said was it John Anthony, right? That you associated with John Anthony or something like that?
That's one of the much smaller acts of hypocrisy. But yeah,
yeah. Well, I'm using that as an example.
I take your point. I'm glad he helped you, and like I'm not denying that Rolo has helped people. Right? I would argue that you probably would have received the same help if you watch my content and more. But it doesn't matter. You just
then I would have been fucking like 72 chicks, bro.
No, not necessarily. Like I did a poll in my audience, even my audience, with how like hookup positive my shit is. 50-60% of my audience wants a girlfriend, and then 15% want a wife. So it's like the majority of my audience wants a relationship, right? And I have like million testimonials of guys who got into a relationship. I mean, like even me, like I'm in a relationship right now and I love it. I wouldn't trade it for like anything in the world.
I got you.
So but anyway, I could if you want, we can later talk about why I think that actually being promiscuous can actually help you get a better relationship as a guy, not as a girl.
Yeah, not as a girl.
In terms of Rolo, yeah, I'm sure he has helped people, and that's awesome. And with him, it's actually harder to make an argument that he's doing more. It's a net negative versus net positive. I think his is like kind of like with someone like Fresh and Fit. It's very easy for me to say it's a net negative. With Rolo, it's a little bit more in the middle. But also one thing that we have to acknowledge is that a lot of people have told me this is that Rolo stuff gives people red pill rage. Like they get pissed off and they start seeing it as this is one of my bigger criticisms with Rolo is that he sees like dating and gender dynamics as like a men versus women thing. It's like he's got the matriarchal female order and like all this crap, right? It's like a verse thing. And that's a very, very bad way to look at it, because I think that a good relationship is win-win. I don't think that like in dating, it has to be that someone wins and someone loses. I think you can both win at the same time if you're honest with each other. So, I don't like that side of it. And I think this causes a lot of people to, so many people have wrote to me and be like, dude, I used to like fucking be pissed off at women. I had really bad red pill rage. I thought women were this and that. Then I started watching your shit or someone else's shit. Now I feel a lot more like I'm in a much better place when it comes to women. And yeah, like a lot of these red pill dudes are just like, bitter or angry at women, which is not good because it's not going to help them in any way.
Yeah, I mean, but also like you can overcome the red pill rage. Even Myron Gaines and Fresh have talked about overcoming that. That's a negative thing, but it's a side.
Fresh maybe has, but Myron is still so fucking good.
Bro, I don't. That's a whole other topic on that, but I will say that they've spoken about that topic on multiple occasions. That red pill rage is actually a negative on your life, and you probably shouldn't be angry at these girls. Just accept them for who they are and move on.
The content that they have, falsely distort, facts and reality and studies kind of causes that. That's the net result. Is look, if you think that women are like these fucking people,
sugar and spice, everything nice,
high value guy comes along and she's going to take all your assets and she's probably going to give you a false charge. Like, why would you not think less of women, right? If that's the reality you're operating on. It's just like, I like to provide balance, like, because I know the studies that they claim to cite, which most of them, again, they barely read, if read at all. Rolo probably has read some of the studies a bit.
He wrote a whole book.
Sure, but again, I know the studies, like we got into this in his debate, I know the studies he cites, and the field of Evo Psych has changed a lot, including his like fucking number one man crush, David Buss, has changed his positions on a lot of things, but Rollo just refuses to adopt this position. It's all based on this guy, David Buss, researched this, but David Buss no longer believes this. He says the evidence came in, it's something else. It's like, yeah, but I think it's conspiracy theory. So yeah, like that's
Alex, you say that a lot when it comes to conspiracy. Like that's like a term that you tend to use quite often. I'm not gonna lie.
But for this is exactly what Rollo describes it at. Like, I'm not strawmanning him or anything.
Yeah.
How he explained it during our debate is like, the reason that I don't give a shit that David Buss changes positions is because I think that he's doing it because he wants to appeal to the feminists. And that is a conspiracy theory. Like, the simplest explanation is that maybe he just discovered some new data, which is what scientists do, and they change their perspective.
Right. But see, like, the thing is, when I look at a lot of the RP content creators, bro, I would see somebody like Myron, like, for example, feminism. Feminism is a huge, it's in the air that we breathe these days, right? There's no real accountability when it comes to women's behavior of promiscuity, which you would say is bad. You made that point earlier.
When you say accountability, like, what do you mean? Like, what should be accountability?
Yeah, like, for example, if a chick did bang 100 guys, it's probably not good to pair bond. The pair bonding goes down, which you've said that's not true. But
I just said that there's no evidence for it. I'm not sure if it's true or not. But.
Sure. Okay, fair enough. But even like the attitudes that a lot of these women, in these clubs kind of have, where it's very disrespectful. A lot of women have so many options to where they can kind of disrespect men, and it doesn't really make for good wife material.
Yeah, so as a guy, you should never put up with that. So, if a girl ever disrespects you, walk away. Like, I have no problem with teaching guys to have boundaries and self-respect. Yeah. Absolutely, I would never put up with that shit. You think I'm putting up with, like, disrespectful girls, or like, if a girl has a high body count, then maybe a lot of guys, some guys won't date her, and that's fine. That's their prerogative.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
What do you mean by, like, hold accountable? Like, should there be like some kind of like penalty or something? Like,
no, nothing like that. It's more of like letting them know that what you're doing is probably not a good idea to find a future relationship, right? This is something that Myron Gaines has spoken about.
Do you think
Alex,
changing the mind of these women?
Hold on. Yeah, they're not. They're definitely not, Alex. I agree with you. They're not. But hold on really quick. But I'm saying that the fact that Fresh and Fit made a show to where we could see in real time their reactions to these questions really goes to show how angry they go. Like, even you have a problem. Like, you made a video on Myron Gaines where he's a fake alpha, something like that you said.
Absolutely.
Because he kicks girls out of the studio for being disrespectful.
A real alpha has control of his emotions. A Myron has zero control of his emotions.
Oh yeah, but even then, alpha is a very term that could be defined in so many different ways, Alex. Right? Sure. And I've had this conversation with, like, for example, Jack Napier, Kyle Nuke as well, on what is an alpha exactly. Right? I think that there's different blueprints of what an alpha is, but that's regardless of that. When you look at somebody like a Myron Gaines, where he doesn't take shit from these women, and he posts about how the feminist movement has been a net negative to society, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. He's saying these truths. For example, when he says women age like milk. There was one tweet that he put where
women age like milk, men age like fine wine. Even that one's not true, by the way.
Yeah, okay. You would say that's not even a fact neither. That women age well.
No.
Remember.
So it's just both genders typically age downwards. It's a very small percentage of men that when they age, they look better. Most people, like, think about the people you went to high school with. Are they better looking now or back then in high school? Most of them got fat. Like, most of them are fucking slobs. Most of them inherited bad habits, including men. So it's a small percentage of men that age like fine wine, like he says. And at the end of the day, father time comes and gets us all. Maybe we'll
that's true. 40s, I get you there.
There's a limit to it. Eventually, age works against you. Even if you're part of the very small percentage of men, but if you're part of most men, you're going to age like shit. Also, there's some women who also become more attractive as they get older. Like,
but that's also through like makeup and surgeries, etc. Right?
Through taking good care of herself. Like maybe she let herself go in her 20s. She was married. She got that marriage, and then she started going to the gym and taking.
Well, that's the exception to the rule, Alex.
Like, so are the men. The men are also the exception to the rule. most guys go downhill.
Sure, but also women find different attributes of men attractive. It's not necessarily looks, right? When it comes to finance, they might have their finances in order and they're attracted to that, or their charm.
Are only attracted to gold diggers. That's not a.
Well, it's. I'm not talking about the gold digger stuff. Even within a smaller
finances is irrelevant then.
No, but even then, even a woman that, let's say I'm making fucking 20K a year, I'm probably going to be more attractive if I'm making the average income. And I'll be more stable. Thus, a woman will be more likely to have their chances on me than if I was making 20K or 15K.
Potentially, yes. But like what I've been saying is that even that effect is capped. So if you go from being poor to being middle class, that will make you more attractive because you are more stable. You're right. And this is for relationships. This is not really so much for like one night stands or casual sex. But if you go from making 100K a year to making 500K a year, you don't necessarily become more attractive to anyone besides a gold digger.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned earlier about how once you hit 80K, then your happiness doesn't.
Well, I was talking about happiness versus attraction.
Yeah. But I mean, wouldn't you say that kind of correlates in a way? You wouldn't be attractive to a woman if you're making 50K or 100K, other than what you said, gold diggers, right?
So
that's kind of your claim.
We're talking about you wouldn't be like the fact that you make more money would only be attractive to gold diggers, or maybe I'll grant you very, very materialistic girls who you don't want to date anyway because they'll cause you to go bankrupt. So that's one thing. So I see the point you're making, and I agree with you. The word alpha can be subjective, but like, would you honestly say that Myron is alpha with how emotional he is and how he has like a hissy fit every 30 seconds?
I'm not the one to say that they're alpha or not, Alex, but
just your personal opinion.
Like me personally, do I think Myron Gaines is an alpha male? Yeah. I think, okay, depending on whatever hierarchy he's in, right? If he's at the top of his career compared to others, then he could be seen more as like people are more willing to follow him than the opposite way, right? And we see that. I'm not saying that it happens in every single person like you are going to follow him or anything like that. But within the hierarchy or a social circle, you could see that there's more respect from the man that has made his career more valid than other men. And that's something
it seems like none of the girls respect him. I've never gotten as much disrespect as Myron has from girls. So it seems like the girls don't really respect him because they see him as like a fragile little like fucking snowflake.
Okay, Alex, at this point, it's just like, mad, dude. At this point, it's just like, Myron Gaines is a bitch. That's your conclusion there.
No, I don't care about Myron. But just because we're talking about this and like, I want to like engage with you and like give you good points instead of just giving like one word answers. I don't care about Myron. We can talk about whoever else you want. I thought you were using him as an example.
I mean, I guess I kind of was, on that, but I do want to kind of bring up because, I know you have like a feud with Myron. I know you had a feud with Rollo Tomasi. I wanted to kind of bring up the recent debate that you're going to be having with Andrew Wilson, right?
Okay, sure.
Now, I'm kind of curious from what I understood, I saw Andrew Wilson's reaction to the video that you had made after that particular RP debate that you guys had. But Andrew described you as a guy that was a close friend of his, right? That you guys spoke on the phone for hours and you guys talked about many things.
I don't know if we were close friends, but we were definitely friends. Yeah.
Okay. Well, from his perspective, like he even said, quote, something along the lines that this one hurts, right? This one hurts. Mm-hmm. Especially because it came from what his perspective is, a friend of his that went on there.
Yeah. I would just like completely dismiss that. I think that, not to keep bringing this up because this one's kind of like already like we're both over it, I think. But since we're on the topic, I think he was just pretending to be hurt. Really, if you look at what happened, and I did a whole video breaking this down, is that it started with me and Andrew having a debate on actually Red Pill content creators. I felt Andrew was bad faith. I told him that during the debate. I said that multiple times. You're acting bad faith. Like, I'm surprised you're doing this shit. And then I was on a different stream and I literally repeated what I told Andrew to his face to someone else who was there debate. Ashley, she was my debate partner. So I just had the same conversation I had in front of Andrew. I had it with the person I was debating publicly. And somehow for him, that was like me going behind his back. Behind his back is like if I'm all cool to his face, but I talk shit behind his back. I did not go behind his back. Everything I said, I challenge people to point out, what did I say that I didn't say to Andrew directly? Like no one can ever answer this question. And also I thought it was really, really interesting how basically I did that stream like at 3, 4 a.m. on Greg's channel. And then by 7 p.m. the next night, Andrew was doing a whole stream calling me a backstabber and all of that. Why didn't he reach out to me first if he felt hurt? Why didn't
hold on? Were you talking about the stream that I saw, the Crucible, How to Lose Friends, or that was the title on that? Are you talking about that stream, or are you talking about a different stream?
No, that one. He did that stream maybe 12 hours after the quote unquote backstabbing stream I did on someone else's channel.
But Alex, like Andrew, he stated in there that he texted you right after saying, "Hey, no ill will, we're good," etc. You mentioned that on that stream as well.
Yeah, and I texted
so he did message you afterwards, then, right?
Yeah, but there was no real ill will on my part.
But then you made the stream, but then you made that stream, and then he responded to it.
No, hang on. First of all, I texted Andrew saying the same thing I told him to his face, which is that, like, yeah, I just think you're a bad faith. It is what it is, right?
Another thing, Alex, one thing that I was confused on too.
Story real quick. Just let me, and then like less than 24 hours later, I was on the stream and I was talking to my debate partner, and I repeated what I said, which is that I think Andrew was acting bad faith. We talked about that. So how could it be going behind his back if I said the same thing to him directly? I thought he was bad faith. I told him that to his face. I told him that over text. And I said that it wasn't like I created that stream. This was someone else's channel. And I just randomly ran into my debate partner and the topic came up and we talked about it for like 5 minutes. And then, so do you see how like I communicate to him like exactly my thoughts? What Andrew did is he didn't reach out to me after that and be like, "Hey man, like that really hurt my feelings that you said that. Like you shouldn't have done that." If he did that, my reaction would have been totally different. I would have been like, "I'm really sorry about that," and I would have like explained my side of it. He didn't do that. He just did a stream, right? Like we're calling me like a backstabber. That's the difference. Is that I said everything in terms of that to his face. He didn't seem like he was offended by it. And then I said the same exact thing on a different stream that wasn't my channel that I was invited onto. And then instead of communicating to me, so to me, it's like if one of my friends did something I really didn't like, my first step wouldn't be to do a stream calling them out. It would be just to reach out to them and be like, "Hey, like, why did you do that?" That never happened.
Okay. So you're saying, well, Andrew didn't reach out neither. So he did that stream, and then that's when he kind of cut ties with you, right?
Well, I think it's because I don't think he actually was hurt by it. Because I think if he was hurt, he would have just messaged me and said, "Hey, like that wasn't cool," right? And he never did that, even though we would text all the time. So he did that stream, and after that, it was like kind of the bridge was burned.
Yeah. Well, one real quick thing, because this was the question that I wanted to ask you. You said that Andrew's bad faith. You said it to his face, and then you said that in that video you were calling him bad faith. I saw that.
Just to be clarified, I said that he was bad faith in the debate we did.
In the debate,
he can be bad faith, but he's not always bad faith.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's what you were claiming, that he's bad faith, not always bad faith, but within that debate, it was
within
bad
that debate. I felt like he was bad faith. And look, you can disagree with my assessment on that.
But that's what I was going to ask you, Alex. Like, what are you defining as bad faith? Because I'm kind of confused on what that definition is.
Not engaging with my argument honestly. That's, I think, basically, what bad faith would be. But, like just not being honest in his engagement with me, like using like tricks. Like one that I found particularly annoying is he would often say, when I would ask him a question, he would say like, "Oh, I don't feel like answering that," or "That's not interesting to me." He would just like dodge all my questions, but then I had to answer all his questions. I thought that was bad faith, because the reason he was dodging those questions because those were leading questions, and if he answered them, I would have him in a logical trap. Anyway, that's ancient history.
Okay, but like I saw that debate too, and I kind of understand. Just give me a moment here. Like I'm not trying to like take either one side, but I do kind of understand where Andrew's perspective was when it came to that debate, because the topic was, is the red pill harmful, right? Was that the topic, or red pill content creators?
Red pill content creators good. There was also like massive dispute about the topic, which I also thought was bad faith because you knew what the topic was. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so like when it comes to your claim is the red pill content creators are doing more harm then good, right? That's your claim fully.
Yeah.
So when you do make a claim, you have to distinguish what is the red pill, who are these content creators making it, and how are they, and what are they doing to make society worse, right?
Yeah,
And so,
which I did and tried to do, but we couldn't even get that far because we got through some of that, but also because
but you would also say that Andrew Wilson would be on. Okay, since you're making the claim, you're on the defensive side, right?
So yeah, okay, I understand what you're talking about. So
do you know what I mean?
There was a big source of confusion. So one tactic that I think Andrew likes to do, and I'm sure he's not the only one. I've seen him do this. He doesn't do this all the time. Is he'll take an agnostic position because that is so much easier. Because if he takes an agnostic position, then it's up to me to provide all the evidence, and all he has to do is just argue against some evidence. He doesn't have to provide any evidence of himself. Now, the reason I made such a big deal of that is because when we were discussing the debate prompt, it seemed like, based on his text, that he was going to take a negative position. No, red pill content creators are doing more good than harm. So I was going to take the positive position. He was going to take the negative position. Instead, to me, it felt like he purposely led Ashley on to thinking that and took the agnostic position. Maybe there was a miscommunication. I don't know. I've seen the text. But yeah, so was annoying. And so it's just like a cheap trick. He's done this with Destiny too. And so that's why
I would make the argument that Destiny's done that on multiple occasions. I don't think it's a cheap trick. It's just more of like, because Destiny's done that as well. Destiny says, I don't need to make a claim in order to argue this.
He has done that now.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I think this is just natural, natural debating, right? If you're going to take that position, you have to make you made the claim that they're more harmful than good. Then you have to give evidence or give a position on why that is. Andrew's job is to debunk that, right? He's on the offense.
He takes the negative position.
Yeah. And you don't.
This is the cause of confusion, which, according to the text, if you were to go through the text, it seemed very clearly like he was taking the negative position, but he claimed that he never committed to that he was just taking the agnostic.
But is that true, though? Did he not commit? Did he say, I never committed to no negative position or anything like that? Yes. Like there's no proof on that he did commit to that.
Well, it's been half a year since I looked at the screenshot, maybe a year. To me, it seemed like he did commit, but I will agree it's open to interpretation.
Okay, fair enough.
There was the communication beforehand could have been better. I'll fully grant that.
Okay, no, I get you there. I just found it kind of curious, but I know back then.
Grab something super duper quick. It'll take me 5 seconds.
Go for it. Real quick, Glenn, I do see you in the back. We're gonna open up the panel with everybody in about 5 minutes. We're gonna open it up. Glenn's already waiting in the background, so we'll get Glenn in there in about 5 minutes. Just answer a couple questions and we'll kind of go through that just to kind of get more clarity on things. But I did want to ask you, Andrew did state that obviously you've been working with him for a good while. You guys were kind of like on the uprise together. I wanted to ask you just kind of like, what is that origin story with you and Andrew? How did you guys meet? Why did you start, making content together?
It's actually
that was something I wanted to ask.
No one's ever actually asked me this question, but there's someone named Kevin Ray Wilder. I don't think you've heard of him.
I have heard of him. Isn't he the white pill guy? The white pill guy?
He's been done with YouTube for a while. But he introduced us. So this is when Andrew had 5,000 subscribers or something. Mm-hmm. We had a phone call. We talked about me appearing on his channel, and then I did. And then it was well received. I had him appear on my channel, and we just started appearing on each other people's channels. That was the nature of us working together. There's no financial anything. Mm-hmm. But we just did a lot of appearances on each other's channel, and it was mutually beneficial. I think he will definitely acknowledge that going on my panels helped him, and I will fully acknowledge that him coming on my panels was, beneficial, at least in terms of views on those things. So yeah, that's basically the gist of it.
I can actually agree with you on that to an extent. I will say this, Alex. It's funny because I found your content well before I even found Andrew Wilson's content. I barely found Andrew Wilson's content this year when he was going on whatever podcast. And I did do kind of like a binge watch on Andrew's content. It just so happens that he's done a lot of debates on your channel. So I remember watching a lot of those, and they were really good. You're really, really good. And I was like, oh, I remember this guy, Alex. I remember this fucker. I used to watch his content. YouTube didn't, give it to me after a while. But I was like, yeah, I know who Alex is. I didn't know that you worked with him. But
Well,
I'm
like,
just
just to be
saying
clear, us working, you mean just collabing, right? There's
collabing.
no
Yeah,
not
collabing together.
business interests. Yeah.
Yeah, collabing together. I didn't know that at the time, but I will tell you this, like Andrew has been like on the uprise, especially this year in the conservative movement.
Yeah,
He
for
appeared
sure.
on Pierce Morgan,
Yeah.
etc.
He
But
deserves it. He's a really good debater.
yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. But yeah, like so that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I think it did help, but I think also Andrew going on your channel definitely helped you a ton more so than the opposite.
Oh, I would
I'm
argue it's the opposite. Here's my argument would be this is
mhm.
that when he came on my channel many times, there's like a good percentage of my audience is like naturally TradCon, and
Mm.
they watch me because they like my advice and they feel like I'm genuine, but they don't like some of my values, like the fact that I tend to be liberal, the fact that I'm
I can
pretty
see that. Yeah.
conservative. So it's like, and so they also, in addition to fucking with me, after they saw Andrew, they started fucking with him, like a lot of those people. Versus with Andrew's crew, it didn't seem like that was ever the case. They just viewed me as a degen. Probably because Andrew always called me a degen. So I don't think any of his audience, or not a substantial part of his audience, ever like gravitated towards my channel because they just saw me as like a fucking godless heathen or whatever. So, but look, it's hard to measure. It's hard to measure,
Mm.
and I'm certainly not taking credit for his rise by any means. I think my channel probably helped. I think he'll admit with that, but whether it helped 30%, 50%, 10%,
Mhm.
who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not like, for example, after like just because so few of his people came over to my thing, aside from maybe just watching, but like they never subscribed. Is like when we had our falling out, I didn't lose subscribers. Like I didn't lose, like maybe I lost like 5 or 10, but there was no
Mhm.
like dip in my thing. So you would think if like a lot of his people came over, then there would be that dip, but that never
Sure.
happened. So yeah, but yeah, look, I don't wish any ill on Andrew. I'm happy that he's doing well. I mean, he's a very good debater. I
Yeah.
wish that he engaged with me more honestly at that point in time. But look, I reached out to him. We both reached out to each other, to be fair, since the whole thing. And basically, I said that I don't think we're ever going to be friends again, but I'm down to platform him anytime. I'm down to keep collabing. He didn't seem like he wanted to do that at the time, so we just left it at that.
Okay. So you would be willing to kind of like to kind of squash the beef completely and go back to collaborating with Andrew, etc. Like
Yeah,
you have
sure.
no ill will, zero,
No,
nothing.
I don't have any
And
ill will towards Andrew. Yeah, like
yeah, and trust me, Alex, I like especially with Andrew's rise, especially in the conservative movement. I saw a lot of liberals go after Andrew on a personal level that I don't think you should ever attack
I've
somebody,
never
especially
gone
with
back to him. I
his
know this.
children.
Yeah,
Yeah, you never did that. Yeah.
no, I never did that ever.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like that it should not even be touched. But okay, well, anyways, I'm gonna open it up right now. I'm gonna put in Glenn, which you're familiar with Glenn Lawrence. I believe
Yeah,
you
I
guys
love
have
Glenn.
collabed as well.
He was pro. He worked with Rollo. Now he hates Rollo, so he's a man after my own heart.
Oh, that's kind of funny. That's kind of funny.
You sound like Satan, Glenn.
Yeah,
I
what's
know I
going on?
do.
You're using like a voice changer.
Yep. I got me a little
Okay,
bit.
there we go.
Nice.
So this is an interesting debate between you two. Like I don't know the topic exactly. I know Michelle's the one that's doing the majority of all the negotiation here going between you guys two.
Mm.
I would, and if I had a choice, I would love to see you guys actually debate the original topic where all this split took place.
That would have been
Like,
cool, actually.
that would be
Yeah, that would have
the
been cool.
topic to watch. The original topic that
It
caused
was
this
about
split.
porn, yeah.
But
Yeah,
one-on-one this time.
I think,
Yeah,
I
like
think,
just one
yeah,
on one.
Andrew.
I think there's been time since then that both you guys
Be right
have
back.
seen like what has changed in the RP or what the RP has developed to be. I think there's a different understanding, maybe in a different ship, and I think there might be. I don't know. I just think that debate never got debated, as you said. So I think that would
Yeah,
be an
that one. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, look, I'm okay with continuing that debate another time. I think it should be separate from the debate we have.
Yeah.
Andrew said that he wants to talk about Trump, which is perfectly fine by me. It's a topic I'm pretty strong on. So yeah, like maybe another time. Like, look, if he wants to have a part 2 debate in a week or so about the what's it called, the red pill consecrator stuff, as long as he's not going to do the agnostic position thing, which I would have him agree on beforehand, then I'm totally cool with doing it.
Yeah. No, I think it's gonna be good. What happened to your channel? Like,
what do you mean? It's still there.
Recently? Like, no, like, did you get demonetized?
Yeah, I got demonetized. Like 3 days ago. I'm appealing it. I'm pretty optimistic that I'll get monetization back because the reason is bullshit. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I asked you about that, Alex. So you're confident that you'll get back the monetization?
Not confident, but I'm optimistic. But no, like YouTube works in mysterious ways. But it was really cool. Destiny like really did me a big favor. So he retweeted my tweet and he told all his friends to retweet it, and it got so much attention. Like it's like dozens of people retweeted my tweet to YouTube, and it seems like now they're actually taking it seriously.
Right on. Real quick, Siege D just with the $5 super chat, dude. Thanks a lot. He says, "I am really the only one that super chatted. This broke white and yellow Florida boy working at a supermarket at the moment, giving his last few bucks." Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate that, Siege. Appreciate you a lot. Also, Heartbender says, "W Jake L Bollocks, Alex. Bald Alex. I think he's making fun of your hairline.
Yeah, I know. I figured people tend to do that as if they like actually give a shit about it. Oh my god, I'm losing hair, really? You don't say.
You got the widow's peak going on, bro, like Vegeta. All right. Really quick, Andrew's in the chat. He said, "No, I didn't, Alex. That was your demand. You wanted to debate about."
Well, that was the idea I proposed. I mean, we're communicating through Michelle, but that was the idea I proposed when we were talking on Sarah's stream. And then I believe, correct me if I'm wrong here, Andrew, but you at one point didn't really want to do the debate. And then a day or two later, I got a text from Michelle saying Andrew's down. Andrew wants to talk about Trump. So I figured that was the one you were more excited about. But it's all good with me. I like talking about Trump stuff.
Oh, so, okay. So yeah, but Glenn, go on, man. I think that was a great. That would have been a great topic, actually.
Yeah, I just think like that's the thing that Oh, he said let's finish the debate on the red pill. I mean, that's what I think. That's what people really wanted to see, like that, because that's the topic that actually caused the divide. Basically,
it wasn't the topic that caused the divide, though. It was like it wasn't like that debate. It was what happened afterwards. Sure.
Okay. Leading up to it, that was the cause.
Let's do the Trump debate on Wednesday, which we agreed upon, and then we can.
And then we could do the RP one as well. That's a good. I mean, at least we'll get two debates out of it.
We can do that a week later. Sure.
Hey, double header.
But
I have no problem.
Andrew does have to. My one condition is he has to take a negative position, or he can't just do the agnostic thing.
Okay.
Michelle, that's between you guys and Michelle. Michelle could figure that out. She said, all right. She said it's in the chat. Michelle said that she'll follow up the RP. Michelle, I did send you the link if you wanted to hop on.
She was invited. So
yeah. No, I liked your guys' collaboration when you guys would do it. I thought it was interesting. I always thought you guys were a unique duo, because you guys do come from different worldviews. And I always thought the way that you guys were able to gel when you guys would have your debates on your channel, it was very different and unique and unexpected. Like you would not expect to see the cohesiveness between you two as much as there was. And so when you guys end up having your guys' spat, it kind of took me by surprise that that ended up happening because of how cohesive that you guys had, or at least what it appeared to be. It
is what it is. Yeah. Not to repeat it, I explained kind of my side of it. So yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on, Glenn.
Well, just because it just is knowing both of you guys. It's just kind of weird to see that's what transpired, right? Like me and Alex actually we debated, and I
did you really? You've debated
destroyed Alex like 2 years ago. I cooked him. And he knows on the on Rolo's 9-iron rules.
Damn, your audience fucking hates me. That's odd.
They don't hate you, bro. They don't hate you. It's just a criticism. That's all it is. On a very little thing. Obviously, like the bald comment, whatever. And then now they're telling you how to pronounce women. You degent.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Shout out to PM Lawrence. Thank you so much for the appreciate that a lot. Alex, I'm sorry, Alex.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah,
Andrew.
I don't want to. I'll take a positive position. We don't have to. None of us have to take a agnostic position. Let's just do positive versus negative.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's why Alex doesn't do 9-iron rules no more.
Well, you've changed your position on that, haven't you? Like you used to be anti-Rolo, so you could just debate yourself.
I go back and forth, like.
Yeah. By the way, Alex, what was your kind of? I don't know if you saw how because Glenn did a video on that. I'm pretty sure you didn't see it, but Nuke recently got into a relationship with Pearl Davis, and Rolo Tomasi, I guess, made a video saying that he didn't like that type of dynamic or whatever. This kind of goes back to what
He
you
doesn't
were
like Pearl getting into a relationship
with Nuke. So he was kind of saying like probably not a good idea to work with Nuke. I mean, he was kind of insinuating that, right, Glenn? To a degree.
Yeah. So he basically said that he was disappointed, basically. In Nuke.
Okay, I mean, they don't even get along. Like they like why?
Yeah.
It's interesting that he feels like he has some kind of paternal, like, I don't know, right or whatever over Pearl, who's like not in any way related to him. Who
over Nuke, actually, over Nuke.
Well,
over Nuke.
Like,
Okay.
His thing is that he doesn't like Pearl, so
I
he
see.
doesn't like people working with Pearl that he knows, or he removes himself from.
For like a 50-something-year-old guy, Rolo engages in a lot of fucking petty gossip. Like he's just I think Brittany Venti said it pretty well when she said he's like the fucking gossip king of fucking the Red Pill. Like just such weird things to like care about. Like this person is gonna be with this person. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does sound that way, and then to each their own. Like I spoke my piece about it. I'm happy to see Nuke and Pearl, doing their thing. I've known forever, kind of like been quiet about it. And I'm glad that they're able to come out and be confident, and live their life. Now
Philip and Tom start being the trad gun she always talks about, or the
whoa. I don't think Pearl ever said she was a trad con.
No, I'm sorry. She can start being the trad wife that she always talks about.
That's a pretty good point, I suppose. Grid, what's up, man?
Married first, like they're just
what's up, man?
I mean, it's actually a joke. I'm not like actually.
I know.
Yeah, actually, Rachel said that she also had the scoop.
Rachel knew too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Did Andrew know? Obviously, Andrew would have known as well. Yeah. No kidding. What's up, Grid? What's your thoughts on everything?
Man. What's new with you?
Chilling, man. Chilling. I'm glad I got Alex. Alex, is that your actual last name, by the way?
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's really hard to pronounce. It's super.
Valencia.
I don't know what. Oh, okay, Valencia. Wow. Okay, I never knew you. We always know you as just Alex. PWF.
I typically don't have it. Yeah, I did factory reset my computer, and now it like just put that in. I didn't change it, but I should.
Now we know your last name, man. So thanks for debuting it on Project Veal-Pod.
People have already known it. People already know.
Oh, okay.
I'm one of the few people, like at least in the PUA dating coach industry, doesn't use like a fake name or all that shit. Like most of the people are using like fake names or at least fake last name. I'm just like, whatever. This is me.
I never talked to you about PUA.
What?
I don't know much about it. Like, what's different between you and like RSD and?
We believe in different things. We have different approaches. Yeah, I mean, I could.
And then, what's your thoughts on like social circle? Like, like what Mike talks about a lot.
I think it's good. I don't. Michael Sartain is part of my weekly podcast, so
yeah.
I think there's something to what he says. I think it's good. I think that it's very synergistic with pickup, and I think that
Mm.
in a lot of cases you need to start with pickup. Like listen, Michael himself started with cold approach, and then he moved over to social circle, and I feel like that's a necessary start for a lot of people.
Yeah, I had this guy hit me up. He did a consult with me, a one-on-one, and he was talking. He was complaining about his since July. He was doing like pickup 6 days a week and like 3 hours a day, and he made it like a job.
That's a lot.
And he was mad that he only got like from July until December. He got like only 40 like successful um contacts or whatever. I don't know. And he was just like upset about like what is he doing wrong. And I was just like, man, it looks like sounds like you're making this a job rather than just something you naturally end up doing when you engage with somebody that you want to talk to. Like, do you think like there's a point where it gets bad?
Yeah, I think some people overdo it. I think probably in the early stages, especially if you're like awkward and shy, you kind of have to force yourself to do it. But yeah, I think you can like anything, like literally anything can become like too much. Like even things that are like healthy for you. Like I don't know, like exercise. Like exercise is good for you, but if you're exercising 3 hours twice a day, like that's probably not good for you in terms of long term.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like anything can be
Not
overdone.
good for your social life anyway.
Well, like I just said, like why don't you? I told the guy like why don't you go take an improv class? If your problem is talking with people, go take an improv class. Learn how to just have to speak on the fly. Like I love
Yeah.
those improv decks, like those
I
improv.
would need to know a lot more about the guy before giving him like any kind of even.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm
advice.
not gonna go into details because it was a consult, but like it just seemed like it was over. He was taking something that was supposed to be um something he practices, when he has free time, and he made it like I'm doing this 3 hours a day, 6 days a week. I'm gonna, run my script and try to get better so I could get.
Yeah, I don't think scripts
Yeah.
are good. By the way, I don't teach
Oh,
scripts.
okay, so that's the thing. So yeah,
Yeah,
scripts not good. I don't think so either.
yeah, I don't believe in scripts. I never teach scripts. When I go talk to a girl, it's not like I'm reciting lines. It's just whatever comes to my head. My whole teaching is based around like natural game, which is like like being spontaneous on the fly.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Alex, wouldn't you say that like pretty good exercise would be if a man's like having trouble talking to women, that maybe have him go to the grocery market or any in his daily life just to talk at least to one stranger a day, male, female, doesn't matter, but just talk to somebody and start a conversation, just in your random daily life every day.
I think that if you're at a very, very beginning, that could be, but I think that only takes you so far, and then once you get past that, you have to talk to like attractive girls.
Alex has a
Yeah.
wonderful coaching product where he literally, like, I've reviewed it, and he walks like from like your level 0 and you're very nervous about talking to women to escalating to being more impromptu and witty.
Thanks, Michelle. I appreciate that.
Of course,
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I've never seen his dating course or anything like that, but
it's good stuff. Thank you for having me on, Jake.
yeah, no
Here.
problem. You're gonna be moderating the debate between Alex and Andrew, so I thought it was appropriate to have you on there on here as well.
Thank you.
But there was a something that I wanted to ask Alex. I know we're going back to the Andrew Wilson topic here really quick, but like, did you expect Andrew to kind of pop in there, kind of ask you, because it kind of seemed like you were a little bit dumbfounded a bit, and you were
Oh, are you talking about like on Sarah's stream?
yeah on Sarah's stream. So I was thinking like, holy shit, you didn't expect it, and you were already kind of like in debate mode, like right off kind of the bat.
Yeah, I would just. I don't want to like get into all of that, but yeah, I personally did not expect him to come on. I was like, there's a few reasons for why I didn't feel like getting into it. Number one, I just finished a 2-hour debate, so I was a little tired. Number two is that day, I know it sounds like hope, but that day I was sick. I mentioned that to whoever's necessary involved in this, and I just didn't feel like getting into it at that point in time. But it doesn't mean I don't want to like have a debate with Andrew. It's just I didn't feel like doing it at that point in time. Yeah, I didn't feel like it should be like I should have to do it. At any point, like I feel like I should get some say in terms of when I'm going to debate people who I'm going to debate.
Was that like kind of like discussed in advance? Like, with Sarah? Like, hey, if this person comes by, I'm just not really.
No, that part wasn't. I just
Okay.
didn't expect. I didn't think that he was going to come by, and I thought I made it clear that I wasn't. I didn't want to talk to him that night. Maybe there was some miscommunication there. I'm not sure, but yeah.
So you're saying that wait, hold on. You said that you made it clear to the moderator that didn't necessarily want this individual.
Not beforehand.
Not beforehand. Okay. It's just during that.
Yeah. Like right as the day was wrapping up. But maybe I could have been more clear. I don't know. Seems like it was a misunderstanding.
Okay, fair enough on that. Yeah, because I wouldn't think like Sarah would if you made it in advance and then she did that. It's pretty just genuine. I think that's very obvious that you need to cater to that and ask right beforehand, because especially if you know that there's some type of beef there. I mean that makes a lot of sense.
There's nothing. There's nothing beforehand, but it was as the debate was wrapping up.
Andrew did say. Yeah, Andrew did say he was on there for questions, right? And Sarah does this. She brings on an open panel, and maybe you didn't expect it, but yeah, it was pretty. I can tell you didn't expect it, especially not talking to Andrew for the past 10 months to a year or something like that.
Was that the first time you guys had communication since you guys had
I think we texted 4 or 5 months ago or something.
Okay.
He did a debate with someone that I found interesting and vice versa, and I may have sent him a text or two about that. But
I mean, I don't think Andrew holds grudges, so I wouldn't expect
so
anything. But yeah, I wouldn't expect him to be particularly, vicious or anything. But how are you doing, Alex? How are you, man? What's up? What's new?
Sure. I'm all right. I'm chill, man.
I didn't get to catch the first part of the show. Typically, I don't even log in on Sundays. It's kind of my off day.
He doesn't watch you, Jake.
Yeah, what the hell, man?
yeah. I typically don't, but I was just Glenn and I had a really great conversation earlier, which was fucking hours long, and
3 hours. He had me on the phone for 3 hours.
However long, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna tune in and see what's up. And Jake, you popped up in the live feed, so
Yeah, no, I got your message and I was just like, yeah, let me send it to Grit. So yeah, anybody that we're not doing an open panel, but anybody who's a content creator can kind of come in here and kind of go back. Sarah's in the chat. Sarah, if you want to come on, I mean that's fine.
I think it's pronounced Sarah. Sarah.
Well, I pronounce it Sarah. Whatever. Whatever, man. What does it matter? You know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about. I'm just being a dick.
No tone policing.
Yeah,
I'm being a dick. I'm allowed. It's weird.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
By the way, go ahead. Well, I was gonna ask, what did you and Alex debate on, Glenn? You said that you guys had a debate together. What the hell did you argue about?
Iron rules.
Rollo's 9 iron rule.
Well,
actually, it's the same one. One of them is the same thing I ended up talking about when I was talking about the whole nuke situation.
Oh, really? Oh, about the yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
What I might do is a compilation where I take Glenn from that debate from 2 years ago, and then I take some of his recent clips and make it seem like he's debating himself.
But
you probably could.
I don't really have a different of opinion on those rules so much at all.
I'll do it right now.
I don't think that's changed at all. I don't think I have a change in opinion of that at all. My issue is more the individual, the man. It's not so much the work; it's the man that I have a difference with. You know what I mean?
There's an interesting comment. You, Bryn, Pauly, Alex Sarapia, hey, he's scared to debate Myron. That's interesting because I've been challenging Myron to a debate for 3 years now.
You've been calling that out since
I've been trying to debate happen for ages. He even one of his things. Actually, so many people from my channel were super chatting. Why won't you debate Alex? And he literally said, we're not the kind of channel to debate, so yeah, I'm not going to debate Alex. So he explicitly said to himself on stream that he's not going to debate me. So I don't know how that could in any way be on me. But hey, people love to weave narratives.
For sure. By the way, Rachel, I am not Canadian. I don't know where you get that idea.
No, he's the wetback.
Yeah, I'm a wetback American. FYI.
Because you were saying Sarah. You're saying it in that.
Yeah,
using
that's
the
true.
American term a little loosely there.
That's the Mexican way of saying Sarah. It'd be Sara, right? But
Were you born in Mexico?
no, I was born in America, bro. 100%.
I just call him wetback all the time.
Yeah,
Anchor
that's
baby.
all it is. I didn't actually. I wasn't actually born in Mexico, bro. I'm not an
I
immigrant.
wasn't born in America. I was born in Belarus. So
He's an anchor baby.
Oh, you're an anchor baby, Alex?
No, you.
no.
Oh, I am. No, fuck no, I'm not. Dude. No, definitely not, man.
No,
I'm
no, we're
full
all
on
US
100%
we're all US
American.
citizens.
When you're in Jake's stream, you're in Beantown.
Yep. Get the
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly.
Uh,
But no,
that's
yeah, I'm actually, yeah, Texican. Yeah, it would be Texican because I'm a Hispanic Texan, so it'd be Tex-Mex, right?
I lived in Texas for 6 months.
Oh, where in Austin? I assume. Austin, thought so.
Yeah. That's
No
not really
kidding.
Texas anymore.
Yeah, it's
no,
pretty
that's not
blue
Texas.
over there.
That's California.
I mean, it's still like all the Republicans still won in Texas. I mean, I don't know.
It's
Yeah,
crazy
no, I
that,
get-
like that was
Hey, it's Sarah.
blue.
Sarah.
What's up,
Like
Sarah?
Texas used to be blue, and now
Hey.
they're red, and California
Hello.
was red, and now it's blue.
I want to first come on and apologize, even publicly, to Alex. I do apologize. I know where the misunderstanding was. I thought you were saying you didn't have time to like do a whole thing with Andrew, and that's why I asked, like, well, what about 15 minutes? And then you're like, oh no, it'll look like a rage quit. And then I was like, all right, you're not rage quitting, yada yada yada. And to my understanding, that's what you were agreeing to, was like, even if Andrew came on, we'd have 15 minutes, and we cut it.
Yeah, I was just essentially saying that I didn't really want to get into a debate with Andrew at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, you were saying like I didn't want to. It'll be a whole long thing, yada yada yada, and that to me it was the time constraint that you were concerned about. But I apologize. That was a misunderstanding. But I did make you guys speed date, which was funny, but was probably bad on my behalf.
Speed date.
It was funny though, was it not? And you guys actually got along, and the music was like smooth and fun, and yeah.
We got along. I guess we didn't start throwing insults at each other. So
So
Yeah.
are you making a flow state joke where he was implying that Alex and Andrew are dating each other?
I mean, it's very questionable. No,
Shit. Come on,
I'm
Sarah.
teasing. I'm teasing. It was all good though. But I do apologize, Alex. I didn't realize you were saying you didn't want to deal with him at all. I thought it was a time constraint. And that's why I made it clear that, like, okay, it's 15 minutes and that's it. And then he's allowed to leave. He's not rage quitting.
yeah, I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I mean, he didn't want to. I guess he didn't want to debate. He just wanted answers to questions. But I mean, that's in an open panel. It could lead to some type of conflict. But that's what an open panel is, right? Like that's just a natural form of that. But he did just ask some questions.
Yeah, but there's no way me and Andrew are gonna have a conversation first time
For sure.
in the year. It's not gonna lead to a debate.
Yeah. Alex, even in the first part of this fucking podcast, me and you were kind of debating things. I was like, we're not going to go into debate, it's a discussion, because I wanted to kind of move forward into the topics. But even with me and you, we're kind of naturally kind of going back at it, because me and you kind of disagree on a lot of these things as well. So I can understand that. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think when me and Andrew debate, I mean, we'll see how it goes on Wednesday. But when me and Andrew debate, it's going to be like a fucking hardcore debate. I predict that. But
Yeah, pretty sure.
Alex, what did you think about your debate with Based Oracle?
Oh,
yeah.
you debated.
Oh,
That's
man.
right.
Oh, that was so long
That
ago.
was a
I
lot.
didn't even see
That's
that
a
one
good
actually.
question.
That
What
was
did we
really
even debate
simple
about?
though. They didn't like argue or get heated or anything. It was pretty straight and to the point, ended on a good note, and
They're both liberals. Yeah,
Wasn't it?
both liberals, bro.
I don't even
Of course they're
remember
gonna
what-
get along.
I don't even
what the
remember what we
topic
debated
was.
about. No, I fight with some liberals really hard.
It was like something about if something is good or bad. It was like a morality question.
It was. I think it was if pickup
Dating coaches
if
are-
PUA is
Yeah,
legit.
Oh yeah. Okay, now I remember. Yeah, I don't know. I think I did pretty good, but it's been a while since I debate, so I'm kind of.
Oh, I think you did. I think you did really well. I mean, I think if
But
I had
one
to
had-
critique
one
it,
had-
if,
One had
go ahead.
one had evidence. One had feelings. You know, like that's what it came down to.
Yeah, that's yeah. If I were to critique it, I would say that you definitely had the upper hand and you stuck more to the facts, but you stumbled a little bit, and you didn't call him on some of the fallacies that he managed to throw out there. If I were going to critique it.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I generally like my level of aggressiveness will just depend on the person. So if the person's like being nice to me, I'll like really tone down my rhetoric. But if I feel like the person's being a dick to me, then I'll go like all out.
Alex, are you a trained debater?
No, not at all.
You're not? Oh, okay. I thought maybe because you seem.
That's
Well, I
actually why I
guess you
made note of it,
practice.
Jake.
I just learned about debating. I mean, I knew it existed, but I did my first debate like 3 years ago. It was Kevin that actually showed me debating, and then I did have a mentor for a little bit. Someone who's a.
Oh, so you do have a little bit of training in that.
He did, yes. After started, he did teach me a few things, but it was like very informal. Like, but yeah, I mean, I definitely got to give a lot of credit to.
There's a course online that you can take.
There is a course, Alex. You down?
Be a master debater.
Yeah.
Masturbator, yeah.
A master debater, not a masturbator, you sick fuck, but a master debater.
Yes.
Jake, I'm going to make my exit. I just came up to, apologize to Alex and say hello. But I have a hot bath waiting for me. I'll dip back down to the chat.
Thanks. I appreciate that,
Right.
Sam.
Absolutely. You guys enjoy. I'll be in the chat.
Have a good night.
Right on. Have a good one.
Bye.
Go ahead, Glenn.
Like I was gonna say, I debated you and Alex. Those are my first two debates ever, really. And I defeated you guys both, and then I retired.
Wait, you debated who and Alex?
Alex and Kevin Ray Wilder.
Yeah, you debated.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin.
That one got a pretty contentious. I remember.
That was it was good back and forth. And he had to concede. He conceded that I beat him.
Did he? I don't recall that part.
From what I remember, he's like, you're right. I didn't realize that there's a thing called solipsism syndrome. Oh crap! And yeah,
did he concede on like a certain
he won. I thought, it's 3 years ago, 2 years ago. I won. I remember that.
Okay.
I remember that part.
we'll just leave it at that. Clear W for Glenn. Yeah.
Nobody here to dispute it. So.
Afterwards was briefly
I was going to debate. I was on a panel debate last night, and Based Oracle was there when I jumped in to backstage, but he ran away as soon as they put me up. So I've not had the pleasure of debating Based Oracle. So you all have one up on me.
What did you want to debate him about?
Oh no, it's just a panel.
Why did
I don't debate on my channel. On my channel, it's the Continental, right? I go everywhere else and beat people up.
Okay.
So
what did you want? Like, what did you want to debate Glenn about, or like?
Oh, Glenn? No, Glenn and I.
Based Oracle, and why did he?
Anything he wants to.
Okay.
Because he's a punk.
You don't like him?
I do not like him.
Why so?
Because he lies. I have a thing about lying.
Oh, I really don't know much about him.
No, it's cool, man. I'm not directing that at you specifically. I believe in being very direct. Unfortunately, it does me. It's a gift and a curse. So
okay, gotcha.
But anyway, yeah, I was just kind of curious how you felt like your debate with Based Oracle went, because I really don't. I've watched the debate with you and Andrew, and that was actually I think the first time I was ever exposed to you, and I thought it was really hilarious. I didn't think less of you for it. I just thought it was funny. It was great. It was good entertainment. So walked away with that. And you can't be all bad. You have a husky, although you let yours on the furniture. I do not. Mine is not allowed on the furniture.
He can do whatever he wants generally. Well, except go in my room. I don't let him go in my room.
So
yeah, it's a lot of.
Did your husky like to get free and roam? I had a husky that would jump the fence and just take off.
No, they're escape artists.
I live on the 32nd floor, so him and
he ain't jumping.
Oh yeah, he ain't jumping. Yeah,
but yeah, he is. When he was younger, he would definitely escape from my apartment. We have dog walks now, because he is definitely an escape artist for sure.
Hey, Alex, is your debate with Glenn on your channel? Because I typed it in, playing with fire, Glenn Lawrence. I'm not getting nothing.
I think so. I think I might have it saved as like Rolo fanboy.
Yeah, it's like Rolo fanboy.
Hold on. Hold on.
I'll,
Rolo.
I'll have to change that now because that's no longer the case.
Yeah, like ex Rolo fanboy.
Rolo Tomasi fanboy tries to call me out.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
right here. Yeah, I debated a Rolo Tomasi fanboy, and then
Well, there's
whoever
actually been
conf-
many. I don't know if is that one Glenn, because there's a lot of like Rolo fans I've
Like
debated.
I think I was like,
Yeah.
wasn't I the first one that you did? Like that you kept on like you would use that title for? Because I remember it was back in June. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's this one.
Yeah,
right?
that was like I was in I was flipping the house in that I bought in what was it? Kansas.
3 hours. Fuck.
Yeah, that one went for a while.
Long time ago. It was fun.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I roasted.
yeah, now I found it,
roasted
yeah.
Alex. I cooked them this morning.
No kidding. I was like, damn. Okay, so you guys, dude, that was 2 years ago. So you guys been fucking you
It
guys
was
been
over 2
associated
years
for a
ago.
while.
It has like 2.5 years ago now, like, right?
Oh, 2.5?
Me and Glenn were always cool. We never like fought or whatever.
Yeah, like we never like I respected Alex's differences, you know.
Likewise.
I just thought he was wrong, and I know that he's wrong, so I just like, you know.
Well, you no longer feel I'm wrong, right? Like you thought that.
Well, I don't feel like you're wrong about the man. I don't necessarily disagree with the 9-iron rules that he said. I think you can see those universally, and say that there's some universal truth in them. Still, I just disagree with the individual that wrote them. You know, like that's my issues. My issues.
Well, that's
more
progress.
with, you know.
Yeah, Glenn, you've always stated that the red pill are just descriptors, right? Whatever you do with the red pill is just different directions.
No, I say like the red pill tells you what is the problem, right? That men are dealing with, and then I would say the Bible tells you what to do about the problem. So, like, if the red pills could be the descriptor, I would say the Bible is the prescriptor.
But Glenn, how do you feel about the fact that a lot of red pillers do give prescriptions?
Well, I think like
there are a lot of charlatans out there.
But there's
You
a
can't
lot.
help
I
In
call
fact,
out a
I would
lot of
say
it.
almost all of them give prescriptions.
Oh, all of them, yeah, they do give their own opinion on what people should do or what how they.
Well,
but
that would
there's
be
no
a
universal.
But literally every human on the planet does that. Like you literally look at your neighbor's lawn and go, "You should use more fertilizer."
Yeah.
We all do that.
This is normal. It's just if you say like, "Hey, I'm just giving descriptors. I'm not giving prescriptions."
I hate that. I hate that because it seems like all the
Rollers say to that, yeah.
all the descript or the prescriptions that they tend to give have nothing to do with about what they say the original problem is. They say the problem is feminism. Problem is feminism. Feminism is the problem. But all their prescriptions have to do not with eradicating feminism, but somehow embracing a feminism and relying on like a workaround feminism or the gynocentric social order. So it's like, wait a minute. So you're not eradicating it. You want to utilize it. You want to utilize what?
Yeah.
You know,
a lot of the rhetoric.
That's my big problem with that. With saying like, oh, this is the problem. Feminism is the problem, but we're not going to get rid of it. Actually, we're going to embrace it,
take advantage of it,
and take.
I think that's a very fair point, but I would also add, I don't know if you caught the very beginning of our debate, is that descriptively they're making shit up. Like the studies they're citing don't say most of the time what they think the study says, and in case it does, they're from the example.
I think I'll take a little bit of an issue with that, Alex, because I think that even though I speak out against red pill shit all the time. Like I've smacked Jake down about red pill. I fight with Glenn down about red pill occasionally. But so when you look at red pill, when you look at the tenets, right, the things that red pill actually contain, if you go read the books or look at the listing of, it's all good stuff. Get in shape, get your money right. Don't pay attention to stupid women. Look for good women, that kind of thing.
There's no such thing as good women.
Just whatever. This is how we know Glenn's gay.
No. Don't start with that. We were
gay jokes
down that rabbit hole earlier.
Gay jokes now.
But that's something you can get from like anyone who can give you that.
Exactly. It's just a good set of descriptors for living your life in such a way that you improve yourself.
Wait, but you're talking about prescriptors right now. You're not talking about descriptors, right?
Right. They're descriptors. And then what makes them prescriptors is when you have someone standing in front of you, like Glenn or Jake or me. Well, it would never be me, but anyone else. and saying that red pill, you need to be red pilled because it's going to get you this. If you do all of this, it's going to get you this. And you have to do it in this very specific way. You have to buy the Wes Watson program for kids that can't read so good. Okay?
Yeah, Wes Watson. Alex, do you like Wes Watson, bro?
Wes Watson can't read so good. No, I think he
and so when we and there are charlatans in every path of life. There are people that are going to lie to you. There are going to be people that take advantage of you. There are going to be people that just say shit for money. And I don't care whether we're talking religion, politics, life choices. The guy down at the gym, you could have one trainer that really cares about people, gives you the honest shit, and wants you to improve yourself. And there's the guy right next to him. All he cares about is your money moving from your wallet to his wallet. And this is where I think that red pill, this is the source of consternation around red pill, right? Is you have people who are selling something, a lifestyle, a viewpoint, a handbook, or whatever, saying that it's going to fix all your problems. What Glenn has said is, I think, pretty accurate, right? Like, this is what it is, right? But it's just a code. It's not an operating system, right? It's not something that you hardwire into your brain and you just instantly become wealthy, or you instantly have women or whatever. And so that's why I have to push back against all of this, red pill's bad, red pill's good. Red pill's nothing. Red pill is no different than the 10 Commandments.
Well,
the 10 Commandments can be
whoa. I would say 10 Commandments.
I would just
fundamentally
disagree with that.
The 10. Well, all right. If you do not believe in God, 10 Commandments is just a
no. I'm not.
No, well,
that's not the
I
argument.
think even secularists could agree that 10 Commandments is a pretty good way of living, right, Alex?
And I think that even if you are a diehard anti-red pill, you would agree that the things that red pills say are good for men.
Some of them, and some of them are not. So let me kind of expand on this. So first of all, someone like, let's just take Rollo as an example. He says he only gives descriptors, but he gives descriptors and prescriptors. A descriptor is something like women prefer guys who have muscles. That's a descriptor. A prescriptor would be you should go to the gym. So he does both of them, even though he says he only gives descriptors. But the second of all is that even a lot of his descriptors are wrong. They're not up to date with the latest science. A lot of its stuff comes from evil. Pretty much all of it comes from evil psychs, and a lot of it comes from David Buss. And
no,
again,
I would say Dr. Marty Hazelton, but
like the dual meaning hypothesis that came from David Buss.
But like Dr. Marty Hazelton was she's the female one on like hypergamy. She's the one that really gets into about the hypergamy.
Yeah, Alex, you don't believe in that, right? You stated earlier.
Well,
he thinks
I don't. I think that the way to describe hypergamy is not accurate, but I believe in a form of hypergamy.
Okay.
I think men and women probably have a desire to want the latest and greatest thing, right? So if you're dating a 6 and you see a 9, you might look at her. The question is, does that man or woman actually act on that desire? So I think that desire could be there to potentially, like, you might be thinking about, like, even me, I'm like super loyal to my girlfriend, but like I'd be like, damn, this girl's so fucking hot, but then I'm like, I'm not gonna act on that.
Well, that's the difference between like you want to bang the 9 and not bang the 9, like, you know what I'm saying, like you love your girlfriend. No,
but but that's the question was, like, what do I think about hypergamy, or like, is hypergamy real? I'm saying the drive, the desire might be there, but whether it actually happens, like, are women actively dating up? The answer to that is no, according to the latest evil psych studies. So
they want to, maybe, like,
but also
they might want to, but the question is, they don't do it. So,
but if they can, they would, right, Alex?
No, like they all can. Like, my girlfriend can date a guy who's richer and better looking than me, right? It just, she chooses not to. Like, all girls can do that.
Well, that's the truth. Like all guys can be violent.
Well, no, but we're talking about like she has.
All
to
men are capable of violence.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
men
all
are
men are
capable of
capable of
violence,
violence,
just like
correct.
all women are capable of acting on hypergamy.
Some will, but there's also a lot that won't.
But
But
not
the
all
point,
will, right? Yeah,
but the,
like,
po-
that's
the,
what
but
we're
the point
saying.
is
But
that there's not a general
whether or not their
pattern.
will is irrelevant of them being capable of doing it.
But then it would apply to both genders. Men are capable of leaving
But see,
their
is it
wife.
Not to the
for-
same degree, though,
for-
Yeah,
Alex.
if
so then hypergamy
hypergamy,
has to apply to both men and women.
okay, let's make sure we understand the same definition of hypergamy.
Yeah,
Isn't
let's do
hypergamy
definitely.
wanting to date above or at their level or above their social, economical, or maybe SMV, right?
I
So,
understood hypergamy to be specifically women choosing to date up.
yeah, women
Choosing.
desiring to date up.
No,
Through
not just
financial,
making
through
the action, choosing to do it.
yeah, but that
Yeah,
would
yeah,
be also through finance and social status, right?
Well,
They're
it's
dating
like
up on finance and social status.
Looks,
That's what I
finance,
understand.
social status. That's the way
Yeah.
they usually define.
women want to look up to a man, not look down on him.
Well, no, that's
right?
different.
But that would be the same
But that-
thing.
that would
fall under
that would correlate
hypergamy.
with it, right?
Yeah.
It might correlate, but it would not be the same thing. A woman may want to look. So, a woman, for example, my girlfriend, I'm sure, looks up to me in some ways.
Do you look
in a
up to
lot of
her?
ways. Do I look up to my girlfriend? I mean, I
Hope
think
you're taller. You're taller.
I think
No,
I
but I mean,
fondly of
like-
her. Yeah, in some ways, I really admire her. Yeah, sure.
But like, does her actions, like, let's say, for example, baby, you really inspire me to do X, Y, Z. Is there any situation where she's leading you to where like you follow her and you
so-
want to accomplish?
I don't know if I follow her. I don't know if that would be the way of putting
Here's
it. But,
here's dictionary.
but our
definition of
situation is a
hypergamy.
bit different because by the time I already met my girlfriend, I was fully into self development, and
Yeah.
so I already like I don't know if there's much more that I could be taught.
So it says like here, the action of marrying or forming a sexual relationship with a person sociological or educate or superior sociologically or educational background.
But according to
So-
studies, that doesn't happen. People date people within their socioeconomic class, within their social class. Like this is just like, again, this is why David Buss and all those guys, they no longer believe in dual mating hypothesis because they found that it's not supported by any of the studies, and the studies paint a different picture.
Well, dual mating, what do they change it to? Isn't it like mate shifting?
Mate switching hypothesis.
Mate switching. Okay, isn't that the same thing? Like just different
No.
wording,
So-
like just wording it differently.
No,
If it's
no.
dual
There's
mating, like you have this and this. Mate switching is like I had this, but now I want this. Like
there's a key
talk about more
difference. I agree
hypergamy,
with some
right?
similarities, but dual mating hypothesis is that the girl is gonna leave
Want both.
leave the guy. Well, the girl's gonna leave her guy and date someone up, whether that's money, whether that's looks, whether that's social status. Right? Women are actively looking to date up. The mate switching hypothesis says no, women are not trying to date up. They're just looking for people that they bond with more or whatever. Like it's not like they're dating up; they're dating across. Sometimes they date up, sometimes they date down, but they're not generally
But
dating up.
maybe when they initially get with that person, they do think they're dating up, and then they realize, oh,
Well, anything is possible. I'm sure that does happen sometimes, but again,
But
mate switching is that women are dating across; they're not dating up.
Well, that's
Hold
what
on.
how
Would
Rollo
it be
explained
fair
it.
to
Like
say- would it be
hypergamy
fair-
was to date at their level or above. Sorry, Greg.
Yes, and that's what David Buss believes is that's no longer happening.
So when men, is it more likely? I'm not saying there aren't odd cases here and there. I'm talking about, is it more likely that men will date up, down, sideways, and backwards, and women only date even or up?
Men usually take date down, and women date up.
There, see that.
That would be what Rollo would say.
Well,
that's what he's thinking. He would be
I'm willing
wrong.
to grant that there are men that date up, that date out of their that chase hot women and have the ability to get them, even though normally you wouldn't think that that's. I'll grant that. So, but if the argument for hypergamy stands, all you have to do is look at men will date up, down, sideways, and backwards. women only date even and up.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. Some women, I've no personally.
They date for potential, right, Alex?
now
Like we've seen, especially with young.
Down. Like
That's probably anecdotal, and that's not the norm, right? That would be like the.
Yeah, I didn't say. I said more likely. In 90% of the cases, women are going to date even or up. Is that accurate?
Well, I think most women date even. I think I don't know what percentage. I'm sure it's probably more likely that a woman by a certain percentage is to date up than she is to date down. But that wouldn't prove the deal mating hypothesis. They're talking about like.
No, I'm just talking about hypergamy. No, it would prove that
the latest science suggests it's the mate switching hypothesis, which is women are dating across.
Yeah.
So women are not going for like the guy who's richer. Women are just going for the guy that they get along with better.
Yeah, I get all of that, and none of that has anything to do with the question I asked. It's just a simple: is it more likely women are going to date even or up, and they never date down? The only time they date down is if they have some emotional issue or something like that. You do not see a very successful, awesome, well put together woman dating down very often. I mean, it would be like a 1 in 1,000, right? So let's just leave those people alone. We'll leave them and let them be happy. But let's talk about the other 90%.
Yeah. So given the fact that the majority of women date across, it is absolutely true that more women date up and across than they date down, because those
would be
categories.
And that's hypergamy.
And that's no, that's not hypergamy though. That's not.
I just read the definition.
Parker Mergen believes that women are dating up. They're not talking about dating across. That would not be hypergamy. That gets
even or up is hypergamy.
No. They believe that women date up.
What's wrong with sugar mamas? I like sugar. I mean, if I could get more.
Also, I just again, not to make this too anecdotal, but I know that my first girlfriend was an engineer at Boeing, and I was like fucking jobless. Like by that standard, she was definitely dating down. My second girlfriend also made more money than
by your standard.
But Alex, also they probably saw a potential in you to where you could potentially make more money in the future. So
I'm going to assume that young Alex was jacked.
No, he was not. He was really, really skinny.
Oh, you definitely had hair, Alex, right? so you're more attractive.
I take offense to that.
He was like 140 pounds.
But I'm saying, like, I remember you're doing like a TED talk or some shit like that, and you put up a young pic. It wasn't TED. It was some motivational. I remember seeing the video, and you posted up. You were talking about photos, and you put a photo of yourself when you were younger, and you look like you were somewhat of a Chad there, Alex. What? Yeah, I saw your lecture on that.
Do you
on your fucking channel?
I can play a video of me. I have a video on my channel. I looked like.
Well, I had to send Glenn a picture of me as a younger person for some stupid argument.
I would say my SMV has probably stayed the same.
I would have assumed that you were probably like in your mid 20s to early 30s or something like that, if I were to guess. Like,
no, when I was in my mid 20s, I had a bit more hair, but I was still losing hair. But at the same time, my fashion was horrible, and I was ultra skinny. I was like 140 pounds or something.
Fuck.
Now I'm like,
how tall are you, by the way?
You were the weight of like what we would prefer, like women not to exceed. Sorry, what? You said you were 140 pounds, so you were the weight that women should not exceed. Is what you're saying?
Yeah,
not every woman.
Well, that's because women are shorter than men, and women don't have muscle. That's very, very different.
No, some of them do.
A man will always have a lot more muscle than a woman.
Well,
unless
women
she does steroids,
typically are stronger. Like their lower body is stronger proportionately.
Women are much higher body fat than men.
Oh yeah, but like their legs. If you look at like the muscle, women tend to be by percentage wise stronger than men are in their lower extremities.
I don't know about that, Glenn. How many?
No, I'm talking about. If you think about your max squat, take their max squat and their weight. Take their max squat and their weight and see what the percentage is like for the heaviest, and then you take the guy's max squat and his weight and see the percentage.
I don't think any of that has anything to do with the point. Men,
I just say that women
are stronger than women.
Stronger than women. Men
are much stronger than women. Men have a lot more muscle than women.
I know you're missing what I'm saying. Like strength wise, percentage. Like women can lift more percentage wise than men can.
Okay, I've never looked into that. Let me just grant that.
Oh yeah, we'll
really have anything to do with the discussion we're having.
I know.
But that's an interesting fact. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, so no, I wouldn't say like again. I was like way too skinny. The reason I was able to get my first girlfriend is because well, actually, I didn't even have super good game back there. I think with my first girlfriend, it was right place, right time. With my second girlfriend, I think it largely came down to game. Yeah.
Are you sure it wasn't hypergamy?
That could have been it. Because again, social social status.
The second one could have been hypergamy.
I had no social status at the time, bro.
Or like within your social circle. I mean, like obviously there's a social
circle. I just moved to LA.
Maybe
I didn't know anyone.
She thought you were hypergamy, or she thought you were the best option in her eyes in what she saw out there.
Maybe she was just.
We were both at a bar. We were both drunk, and I think
you were the best option at that night.
In that bar, you were the best option, right?
I don't even know how I was the best option. I was just
you had all your teeth.
Approach her,
and the other guys didn't.
Who made her laugh, and I pulled her back to my place.
And your game was a part of that, though, right? Obviously,
largely was just because I'm good at bed, not to like. Okay. I fucked her really well. Yeah, but my first relationship was my most rockiest one. It got better and better every relationship.
Well, I mean,
oh god, okay.
There's a lot of learning.
But going back to the initial point, is just like again, like I'm not an evopsych researcher, so I have my anecdotal experience, but obviously that's inferior to like real studies. But I do follow what the actual researchers say, like people like David D. Buss. And again, I've read his arguments, and they're pretty convincing for why he no longer believes the dual mating hypothesis, and he believes in the mate switching hypothesis.
I think that they both can exist. I don't think it's either one or the other. I think that they both could exist.
No,
you're saying like all women are one way. All women are just all one way. I don't think that's true.
It's
all men are not one way.
They're talking. That's not how science works. They're not talking about all women. They're talking about
generalities.
Generally, women.
Yeah, and I think generally speaking, you could have both.
No, you can't have most women, or you can't have generally women date up and generally women date across. You can't have both of those things.
No, I think that they date either across and up. I don't think women like dating down, and I think we see that, just in everyday living. We see that women will you'll see that they date across someone that's equal to them, or they tend to date up, maybe someone just even slightly up.
Let me actually pull up. I just pulled up my my notes on the dual mating hypothesis. So let me just I'll give you guys the real research, because this was wild. Where did that day? Okay, so Rollo claims alpha fucks beta bucks, which is based on the dual mating hypothesis. Here are the counters. You completely ignore the fact that the majority of evolutionary psychologists, including your crush David Buss, have moved away from this. Why do you then I try to get him to admit that at least it's unscientific at this point, because the majority of evopsychs don't believe in this. So the dual mating hypothesis set out to explain infidelity. The idea is that the big reason for why women cheat is because they want alpha genetics. That's really the
alpha seed.
Is that they cheat is because they want alpha genetics. Here are the counters. Buss, along with most evolutionary psychologists, have largely switched from this hypothesis to mate switching hypothesis. So that's one. Number two, only 1 to 3% of women get pregnant outside of their relationship, right? So it seems like they're not having babies with like the alpha seed. The biggest reason women cheat, Mackin study, is a relationship dissatisfaction, specifically emotionally. Under dual mating, we would not expect this. Women's need for good genes should be unrelated to their own relationship satisfaction. And also, women often fall in love with their affair partners. This would disrupt the current bond in their relationship with investigating partner or beta, who, according to dual mating hypothesis, should be changing. We should instead expect a trend where the current relationship is maintained. And here's a quote from David Buss. If the primary function of female infidelity was simply to secure superior genes from an affair partner, falling in love seems like both superfluous and costly by potentially interfering with securing continued investment from one's regular partner. So yeah, that's like I laid out, I think, 3 reasons there.
I like how Alex is prepared, at least with the data there of his claims here.
Dual mating argues the primary partner is intended father figure or offspring, and mate switching argues it's the affair partner. So if a woman's affair partner is mainly serve as a dual mating strategy, then the primary partner should be the better dad. If the affair partner's primarily the aid of switch to a new mate, then the affair partner should be viewed as the better dad. In that sense, if you're talking about getting pregnant, right, or her having a kid.
Yeah, so let me just go back to this. Okay, so yeah, like so. Just to clean this up again, Dual mate hypothesis sets out to explain infidelity, and the crucial part of the dual mate hypothesis, if not the main part, is the idea of the big reason why women cheat is because they want alpha genetics. So if that was the case, if they want alpha genetics, then you would expect them to have children with their affair partners. Number one, and also you would expect them not to fall in love with their affair partners because they still want the beta bucks. But if they fall in love and they leave their current beta, whatever provider for the whatever alpha guy, right, or just the other person, then that would fuck with their ability to like maintain resources for the alpha seeds that have been implanted into her by the Chads. So yeah, I think those are the general.
But we do know like there's like the milkman's baby. We know that trope is actually a thing. You know,
every type of thing is a thing. Generally,
yeah, like we know that there's some truth to it. How much is it there? I don't know. I think that again, when it comes to hypergamy, they across and up. I think that's a good definition of it. And I think that does exist. Now, whether or not why women cheat and why I don't have the answers to that.
But
to me, it's just the sin thing.
Hypergamy is dating up. It's not dating across.
I think it's dating across and up, and I think that's the way that I heard it was defined. I have never heard that it's only up. I've heard it's either women will date after level or up.
In general, yeah, that's the claim I believe with hypergamy. That includes social status and finances.
I remember that's what he would say all the time too. So.
If I just look up hypergamy definition, it's the first thing is colloquially referred to as dating up or marrying up is a term used in social science for the active practice of a person dating or marrying a spouse of higher social status or sexual capital than themselves. So just like the very first thing,
social capital.
Yeah, that's
it's talking about dating up. Like that's
in social capital, right? Which also a byproduct would be money as well to some degree. But that's what I was saying. A lot of women tend to want to date higher up in a social environment, right? Whatever hierarchy they might be in, Alex. But I think
you don't ever see women like
you don't know what women value either,
And isn't that really more subjective? Like because the woman
according to the woman,
the woman has to perceive this guy to be either up or level or down, and that's going to be more based off of a collective,
it may
right?
Make damn sense to an actual man.
Well, whether you're up or down, whether she thinks you're up or down doesn't actually change whether you're up or down, right? Like if you're really persuasive and you're really confident, she may think you're up, but in reality, you could be down, right? So
that's why it's her perfect, like it's what her opinion is. It's subjective.
But
if she sees you as up, then she might date you. She might go out, like want to date you.
But that opinion,
if she sees you as down, she's not going to even give you an opportunity.
Like you can have like a rich, like successful fucking nerd, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who the woman thinks is a loser just because of his lack of confidence, right? And you could have a like low life, like dirtbag who doesn't have a job, like lives in his van, but he's super confident, and the girl thinks she's more attracted to him.
And again, that's from her perspective. If she thinks that this guy is the Chad, like that's the guy that he's above her, and she decides to want to date him, again, it's very subjective in according to the individual.
Well, the deal. So, this is an interesting comment from Ghost. Based on corporate paternity tests, minimum 30% of men are not the fathers. That's why. So this is, God, this is just some red pill fucking.
Well, like it's 30% of those that went and got the test done.
Yes.
Yeah, I know exactly what it was.
Which is if you think that your woman is cheating and you want to get a paternity test, the likelihood of her actually cheating is so much fucking higher than if you're the average couple. So,
Alex, by the way, I know you have an out very soon. Because I know you're going back and forth with Glenn. Just FYI,
on for a tad longer, like another 10 minutes should be fine.
Okay, cool. I'm just bringing it to your attention that we're already hitting that.
Rage quit, Alex.
Alex, you're rage quitting, bro.
I actually am going to go in and hang out with my wife, and I think my 4-year-old's asleep now. So that's a.
I see what you did.
Yeah.
He's rage quitting right now.
Yeah, I would
Oh, he's
rage
not
quit,
rage
but all my
quitting.
rage is
He's not
inside.
rage
So
quitting. It's another type of quitting. I'll
Yeah.
explain it to you when you get older.
Family
Okay.
quirk.
yeah, but Alex, I think Michelle's going to try and set something up so you can come over and we'll hang out on my channel. We'll have a discussion. Again, I don't do any business on my channel. I don't yell at people or throw things or any of that kind of thing.
He's pretty chill. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, I don't.
It's only everywhere else. Like I said, it's a continental.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
I'm down.
All right, man. And Glenn, we'll talk to you later. And Jake, always a pleasure. To the chat always wins, except for that one fucker that's running around calling people blue pill. If you call people blue pill, you're probably blue pill or no pill and are very confused. So get some help. I don't have the name of a doctor. I'm just saying get some help.
Oh yeah,
And
I get
the rest
called
of you guys
from time to time.
Yeah, the rest of you guys, be cool and wear glasses if you need them.
Right on. Right on, man. But okay, guys, you can go ahead and continue your back and forth here. So I'll leave it to y'all.
I don't know.
I just think like you said like men are hypergamous too. I don't think men are hypergamous according to the definition of hypergamy.
According to the definition of hypergamy, the definition I just read, then no. But
so that's why I would say men can't be hypergamous.
So yeah, like the way I think hypergamy is used colloquially, we have to distinguish that between the way it's used like academically, right? But colloquially, I think it's used to describe the concept of generally used to describe the concept of a woman dating up. I think the scientific, definition it more has to do with like the marriage that I read, and I think that you could say that men. If women always want it depends if we make it about action versus thought. If we make it about thought, then I think men sometimes they want to, date up. They see a girl that's hotter or younger, and they're like, "Fuck, I want to be with that girl." Right? Just a lot of times they don't do it. Sometimes they do. Right? Versus, so if we make it just about desire, then I think that desire falls upon both sexes. But if we make it about the action, then that's a little bit of a different story.
Well, that's why I think that we have to keep it to what is defined, right?
People use this definition very differently, but yeah.
Well, that's a problem, though, right? Words mean something, and we need to keep them according to the definition. Just because people loosely try to, make it mean something else, doesn't mean it means something else. Like.
Yeah, if we stick to the definition, it seems like there's two. One of them is the desire or act of women to date up. That's one definition. Another definition, because sometimes there's multiple definition, is this is about the dual mating hypothesis. Never mind. So for hypergamy, it's the desire or act of women to date up.
Yeah,
that's the actual definition.
And I just think that just kind of shows that women are hypergamous. They can't. Not all of them are going to act hypergamous. Many of them may not. They're social buffers, right? There could be religion. There could be their own values. There could be a lot of different things that
men would also be hypergamous because men also
no, because there's no dating up.
Well, dating up would be dating a hotter girl for men.
But
okay.
No. That's redefining hypergamy, trying to make it to fit men, and that's not different.
No,
that's a huge
the
difference.
definition of hypergamy is just very
it's social
status,
economical.
No, that's not the definition.
Superior.
The definition is the desire act of women to date up. That's the definition.
So I have it right here as hypergamy: the action of marrying or forming a sexual relationship with a person of a superior sociological or educational financial background.
That's a different. There's multiple definitions, which is what the issue was.
So, and that one's not saying women. That's just saying,
in general. Yeah.
So, on average, we could say that women tend to form or marry or form sexual relations with a man that's more superior than her, socially, financially, maybe even educationally, than we do the other way around.
So Okay, so if we go off your definition, the one you read, which is a valid definition, I'm just saying there's multiple definitions for this.
Yeah.
If you go off your definition, then yeah, by that definition, then men could not be hypergamous because it has to do with social or financial.
And educational.
I disagree with the fact that most of that women generally are dating up. I think they're dating across. But if we go off the definition I read, which is also a valid definition, then men can be hypergamous because the idea for them dating up is just dating a younger, hotter girl.
Yeah, but see, like, dating hotter doesn't make that fact that she is socially or like she is like more superior.
I'm not saying she does. I'm just going off. There's two definitions. So according to one of them, men would not be hypergamous. According to another one, men would be, right? So two different definitions will have two different answers.
See, this is the problem with definitions. Like, either we have one definition, okay?
Can we just decide on?
Yeah, I know, but I'm not the one that came up with this shit.
Yeah, but I'll say, can we decide on just one definition here? Can we just say hypergamy means dating on a social, economic, or educational aspect of that? Under that equation, I think most women would fall under that category, even if in most hierarchies, anyways, Alex. So wouldn't you say by that definition, hypergamy does exist, right?
Well, in his definition,
just tell me the definition you cited again.
Yeah, so hypergamy is somebody dating in a higher social, economic, or educational purposes, right? Dating up on that, or let's equal or up, right? That's hypergamy.
Are we talking about like leaving their current partner for someone that's up, or just in general?
No, in general. That's what women, or that's what hypergamy is. I'm not saying leaving somebody, etc. But
okay,
here's
so
the thing. I would say
clear though. I think that most definitions have it as like actually like dating, like you're in a relationship and you date someone up. But going off yours, which does
actually,
not have that.
It isn't the one that I was reading. It says like the choice of the action of marrying or forming a sexual relationship with the individual that's
the problem. There's multiple definitions. One of them is marrying, one of them is just dating, one of them is
this one says marrying or forming a sexual relationship.
I saw that.
Now even with dating, forming a sexual relationship would categorize as dating because usually people that date have sexual relationships. But that's what I'm saying, Alex. I think under that definition, wouldn't you say that hypergamy would be a legitimate existence?
Are we talking about wanting or choosing to date up, or are we talking about just choosing to date up?
Both. Let's say both. Choosing and wanting.
Yes, I think by that definition, for sure, hypergamy would be real because I think the majority of people want to date up. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think
because people want something doesn't mean it happens, right?
Sure.
I think it's a good thing that women are hypergamous. I think like me coming from a religious background, I think that's by God's design. It's a way for women to filter out men, while they're
Alex.
doing their selecting process. They're selecting for the guy that's going to be able to provide them the best, amount of resources and quality of life for their offspring.
Doesn't give you always give.
Well, it's not money. It's just if you get rid of money. And what does money do? Money is the acquisition of resources. So it's problem-solving skills. So I'm wanting to select a man that could provide the most amount of resources or has the ability to solve the problem and provide the most amount of resources to sustain me and my children for a long period of time, for like a lifetime. I think that's a good thing for women to have. I don't think that's a bad thing. I have a daughter. I want her to be hypergamous, and I want her to pick the best man. Now, I don't want her to go, I picked the best man now. Oh, I find a better man later. I'm going to go for him. No. I don't think that's the way that's supposed to be done. I think that's the way it's done now, and I think that's abused. That's just using just like how guys lust after women. That's wrong, bad. Don't do that. Lusting after your wife, like wanting to sleep with your wife, I don't think that's a bad idea. I think it's a good thing.
The way you define
the way it can be operating, the way that it's being utilized can make it bad.
Yeah, if the way you defined it is, I think, fine. I think if it gets into, again, which is what like the way a lot of people talk about it, is it's not just them initially choosing someone who has the most resources, but it's like trading up, leaving their current
open
partner.
hypergamy. That's what Rollo would call like open hypergamy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's choosing someone who's choosing someone and then going up and
Monkey
going up.
branching,
That kind of
swinging,
olive branching would be a negative thing for women.
yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah.
That's bad. I think it's a good thing that women could use as a way to select a mate, but not going from one mate to the next mate to the
I
next mate.
don't think it's bad. I don't know how great it is. I think women really, if I had like a daughter or like a sister, and I was giving them advice, I think I would look at also like how he treats his friends, how he treats his family. I think there's probably more important things than how much resources he can provide. I would
Well,
look
no,
at
I think what it is, it's just the way that they filter, like naturally or instinctually. Like, does this guy have good problem solving skills? Because basically, at the end of the day, that's what.
well, you could be a
Like,
school teacher, make 40K a year, and have really good problem solving skills.
yeah.
So that's not going to be necessarily correlated with money.
Well, no, I don't think money has a lot to do with anything. Like, even when they talk about like what's a high value man, I never use definition of money. I don't think money.
Sure,
You have
but
to have
you agree
something
that
that
they
goes
do,
across
right?
time and
Like,
all areas through all timelines, right?
right, but you
'Cause
agree a lot of
I
wrestlers
would say
do
like
use
the
money as
Apostle
part of it.
Paul was a high value man, but he wasn't rich.
Right, but you would agree that red pillars use money very often in their
Yeah.
definition.
Oh, of course.
Because
And
well, it correlates even with the definition that I
well,
just gave
it
earlier,
still
right?
comes
Social
to like,
status,
what does money
education
do?
usually is a component of higher money as well. If
Well,
somebody
sometimes
access
What
to
does money actually mean at the end of the day? Money is used to do what? To acquire resources, to acquire things.
well,
So it's a problem solving tool.
that's part of it. It's also used as a status symbol. Like, for example, like you drive around in a
Problem-solving
Lamborghini, it's like
tool.
a status symbol. So money can be used for a lot of things. For me personally, money has always been with freedom. Like, the more money you have, the more freedom you have. And so that's the way I've always seen
I don't know. Biggie said more money, more problems.
it. Yeah, well, I don't want to disagree with the infamous Biggie.
I mean, he did.
yeah, he's
Okay?
dead as hell.
He got more money, and then he had a whole lot more problems.
Yeah, but I don't know. For me,
I just
no,
look at
just
money
like me personally,
as
like
a tool, as
I
a means.
made 5 figures and I made 6 figures, and I have less headaches at 6 figures. I have less.
But you have less hair. See,
And headaches,
trade-off,
and
Alex.
headaches.
There's a trade-off.
Yeah, there's a trade-off. Clearly, the hair is due to my money.
You're
Actually,
Vegeta, bro. You have the widow's peak.
But the money's gonna help me
Badass.
with my hair because I'm gonna do a bunch of PRP injections, which are not cheap, and I'll ultimately do a hair
See,
transplant.
problem solving. Now you're solving
Yeah.
your problem.
Yeah, exactly.
I've always been good at problem solving, even when I was poor.
No, the way I look at it is like money is a tool that is we use it as it means nothing in any other place. Like if we live in a country where what required made you valuable or are wealthy was if you had like the most oranges. Well, the guy that has all the damn orange trees is going to be the most high value person or the most wealthiest person in that town. So you have to look at what can be utilized across the board, right? Money is a problem solving skill. It's a tool that you could utilize to purchase or acquire more resources or different resources than you have.
Sure.
That's how I look at it. Money is just problem solving. And that's really what I think when you break down hypergamy, what is the ultimately filtering out for is, does this guy have the ability to problem solve, for the long run?
Well, I think problem solving is a great thing for girls to pay attention to. I think problem solving is important. You want a guy who can problem solve as a woman. I don't know, like, if that's directly correlated with money. Again, like, you have teachers, you have professors, you have fucking firefighters, you have police officers.
Well, I mean,
some
you're
of
talking
whom
about
that are
in
really
our
good.
current state now. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like today, money is high. Like that's the thing. But if you get rid of the money and you look at what money provides, right? That it comes down to being able to acquire resources, which is a problem-solving ability.
Sometimes, not for all problems.
Well, I mean, look, I could pay for somebody to get beat up. Like that's a problem solved.
Yeah, sure, but like if you're having relationship issues with your
For a
girlfriend,
good price, Alex,
like,
I'll hook you up.
Like, or you're having issues with your kids, sometimes money cannot fix that problem.
No, it could send them to boarding school. Problem solved.
Yeah, I guess if you want them to hate you, but I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just saying, it's a tool. It should not
Discipline
be
is love, Alex. Wow.
I agree that money is a tool. I feel like sometimes it's not used as a tool, but I agree it should
No,
be.
I see. I agree with you too. People do not use it as a tool, and they use it as like uh, yeah, they inflate its value. You know,
I
they
was
probably
talking to Jake about this, and like there's studies that show that money does increase your happiness up until you get to 80K, and then if you go from 80K to $1 million, that doesn't actually, according to the studies, affect your happiness. So,
But Alex, like if I'm making 80K a year and then I'm making $1 million and now I have a yacht with a bunch of women, I would probably be a little more happier than 80K where I'm still working a 9 to 5.
you would
You know,
think that,
maybe, but
that
this is all self-reporting though, right? In the study, I would assume.
I've known some rich people who were very, very depressed and all the pussy in the world.
And I've known a lot of poor people that are super depressed, actually more so than not.
Well, I just don't think like once you get past this, or maybe 80K, 100K, once you get past that, you get like any kind of increase. I mean, Dan Bilzerian talks about this all the time.
Yeah.
When he made money, he was trying to buy pleasure and he kept doing it. And at the end of the day, it didn't make him happy. It just made
But that sounds like his actions.
That's the problem. See, that's the thing. He tried to buy pleasure.
He wasn't married with kids.
But he would say that money did not make him happy.
Yeah,
I would agree with like
it's a good down payment though.
Here's the thing: happiness is fleeting. It's never sustainable. Okay, like and I think the pursuit of that is what makes you happy. Whatever your goal is that you're trying to acquire, you're happy during that pursuit because you're getting closer to it. You know, you're seeing yourself progress. You know, you're overcoming obstacles. You know, that's where the happiness is. And once you acquire it, once you reach that goal and you accomplish it, you're already looking for the next thing.
Yeah,
so
I agree. It's not
it can't be sustainable.
It's the journey along the way. I totally agree.
Yeah. It's the journey. It's the process.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. All right, I got to skedaddle. Any last questions for me before I dip?
Yeah. So, Alex, this is like number 2, right? I won twice. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, Alex, really quick. My last question, then you could dip. Is Destiny a cuck? Be honest, bro.
You're putting me in an awkward position because Destiny.
I know. I just wanted to do that for you.
Here's the technical explanation. Technically, Destiny is not a cuck because technically a cuck is someone who wants to who watches their partner, their girlfriend, their wife.
You don't think he didn't watch? He's bisexual.
Look, I don't know Destiny's sex life super well. Okay, I've never been. We've never.
Is it safe to say that he likes guys and girls? So maybe
I understand from what he said is that
technically a cuckold is someone that's raising a child that is not his. Destiny has not done that, as far as I know.
He hasn't done what?
Raising a child that's not his.
Yeah, but that would be. I think you can be just a cuck if you watch like your girlfriend or wife have sex with another man. And as far as I know,
sometimes a throbbing cock is a throbbing cock, and that's what he gets a hankering for.
He's a dude that the text messages
bisexual, right? That would make him a cuck.
Yeah, but I mean, would it be safe to probably, just more than likely than not, probability wise, that perhaps Destiny did see his chick get railed and maybe he joined in, something like that? Probability wise, would the probability be that perhaps he might be a cuck?
I just think, Jake, you and your fantasies need to go somewhere else.
I don't know his sex life. I will say this: Destiny has always been a really good friend to me. Just very recently,
yeah, for sure.
He retweeted my thing to YouTube, and he didn't have to do that. And I don't think most big content creators would have done that for me. And I think that could play a big role in getting my channel back. He offered to do that. So Destiny has always been very, very kind to me, even though I may disagree with some things, especially his position on Israel. So, like, yeah, I just don't want to get into it.
I call Destiny a Coomer Gremlin to his face, and I think that's what we just could universally
on Jubilee
say. He's a Coomer Gremlin. Yeah.
Okay.
But Alex, yeah, dude, good answer though, by the way. Great fucking answer. I just wanted to ask you that before you wanted to split out, just to kind of put you in an awkward position just because it's funny. It's fucking hilarious.
You're fucked up, Jake.
It's fucking hilarious though. It's kind of funny a little bit. But Alex, no, I like you a lot, bro. Like I really do. I enjoyed the conversation with you. I'm just doing that just for shits and giggles, bro. I'm just
it's all good.
Shit, dude. You know?
Just out of curiosity, do you not like Destiny or?
I don't know him personally. I don't personally can say that I don't like him. I don't like his ideas. I think what he promotes is actually a net negative on society, in my opinion.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm a right winger, bro.
I'm after meeting him, like I don't personally have an issue with him. I don't like his worldview or like his position on a lot of things, but I could say that he's a nice enough guy that you could probably grab a beer with him after like a debate,
I can see that.
you could get along with him. Like
he's
like,
always been really, really good to me. Like better than any other famous person I've interacted with.
I still think he's a Coomer Gremlin. And I would not want to walk into a bathroom with him, and he might want to.
Oh God. Okay.
Wow.
Neither would Alex. All right.
But you can like people who are not like
yeah.
I'm a liberal. You're conservative, right? But we seem to get along. Right?
Yeah, like you and I disagree. Like we probably have different worldviews on a lot of things, and I don't have a problem with you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I just got more hair.
Alex, really quick. I'm sorry, dude. I know. Just one more question, really quick. Siege D, he messaged me saying that he wanted to ask you something, and Siege, do you want to ask Alex a really quick question before he jets?
Sure, if it's a question, yeah.
Yeah, sure thing, man. So hey, let's see, Siege D here. I work both Glenn and Jake, and let's see. I know you're in Florida, right, Alex?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I work with primarily greyhounds. I personally like greyhounds. But how do you I mean, we'll discuss it some other time on like Grizzer or something. It's more discussion stuff. But how do you keep your husky cool during all the hot summer times here in Florida, man?
Yeah, my husky, well, because he lives in a very nice AC apartment. Like I don't walk him like during the day for 2 hours. Like if you primarily walk him after sundown, then he's fine. Or you just take him around the block for 20 minutes. That's also fine during the summertime. Just to be clear, also, my husky was a rescue, so he was already in Florida. It's not like I imported him. Some other family in Florida would have taken him. But yeah, I think it's fine. Like as long as you're conscious of the fact that they have a very heavy coat. I've never had any issues. Like my dog's never been like dehydrated and had to go to the vet or anything along the lines of that. You just got to be conscious of it.
Keep them away from stuffed animals.
Alex,
like my husky died from eating 2 stuffed animals. I had to get a surgery. Yeah.
Oh shit! Sorry to hear about that.
Yeah. Alex, thank you so much, bro. You spent 21 minutes actually over the time limit. But dude, thank you so much, man, for doing that for me. Thank you so much for the interview. I hope to interact with you more often, man. I do find you fascinating, especially because I've followed your content for years already. So it's cool that I actually had a conversation with you, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. We can definitely set something up in the near future. But yeah, appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, of course. Anytime, Alex. Have a good one, man.
I'll see you guys.
Talk to you later, man.
Take it easy, Glenn.
That was great. Okay. Yeah. Fucking.
So I have 2 W's. Beating Alex twice now.
It's funny because you literally debated Alex again, technically.
Yeah, and I won again.
You won. There you go. We'll all get it. Alex get in the crystal. Trolololo. Yeah, I mean, Alex is a liberal. It's funny because I didn't ask Alex this question because back then when I was watching his content, I remember he would make fun of feminists. He would say, "Oh, they're just feminists or the liberals." Well, he would use that type of terminology.
I think you could be liberal, but not a feminist.
I think they kind of go hand in hand out.
No, normally they do coincide, but I do think you could have liberal views, but also not be a feminist.
Liberal views and not be a feminist. I think that just contradicts things, man.
No.
If you're voting for Kamala Harris, more than likely,
that's different. That's different. I'm saying you can have a liberal view on, let's say, television. Like what type of TV shows are on television?
Oh, okay. As far as like,
not be a feminist, and still not support feminist television programs, though.
Yeah. Okay. I could see your point there. I could see your point.
Any examples, Glenn, by any chance?
No, that was my example.
Trying to think of it. I'm trying to still interpret it a little bit more. Can you like elaborate a little bit more, Glenn? Because again, I would say that like liberalism is pretty much a huge part. I mean, feminism is a huge part.
There's a lot of overlap there, but I think you could be liberal, like have liberal views on things, but also not be a feminist, not agree with feminism. Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, feminism is essentially like kind of like the belief that men and women are equal, and so
that's egalitarianism.
Oh well. All right. Let's see. I mean, let's see. You could be able to hold the belief that let's see that I guess the idea of like gender roles, but still like I guess
That
support.
that would be either, again, that might fall into egalitarianism or patriarchal or complementarianism.
Still, it's just feminism, just empowering women.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Well,
Feminism is wanting to, instead of having men as the top of the hierarchy here, it puts women above men. It's a superiority movement, not an equality movement.
Yeah.
well, yeah, of course, but of course, there's a lot of feminists believe that's the idea of let's see, empowering of women. But again, it's just yeah, the whole supremacy in itself. Yeah.
No, they run with the the campaign on the idea of equality or equity, but it has nothing to do with equality or equity, because you don't see feminism campaigning for equal sentencing when they get convicted for crimes. You know,
Yeah.
right? They never. There's never. They don't want. They're not fighting for equality there, or let alone equity. You know, so it's only about the things that can benefit them. So it's superior. Well, they want to be superior in these areas.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Got it.
Real quick, guys. We're gonna end the stream. Glenn, stay on. Stay on, so we can have some off stream conversations. I'm gonna
Yeah.
send you guys to Nuke, which, by the way, you know who he is. Obviously,
Oh, I know that guy.
Nuke is live right now, so I'm gonna send you guys over there. And me and Glenn and Siege will continue the conversation off stream. I hope you enjoyed the conversation that we had with Alex. Alex, I think, is a good guy. Hopefully, he can reconcile any differences he has with Andrew Wilson, and hopefully they progress from that. So we'll see on that, guys. With that being said, I'll send you off to Nuke, and have a good night.